final play.
Touchdown!
Your home of the pass.
Yes.
98.5 The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
Both the Bruins and Celtics will be back at work tonight after taking yesterday evening off. The Bruins will try to recover from a bad home loss to Ottawa over the weekend when they play in St. Louis this evening. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 7:30 and the face-off at 8 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. The team also sent forward Matt Poitras down to Providence yesterday. The Celtics will open up NBA Cup pool play against Atlanta at TD Garden tonight. Brandy and Max had the pregame at 6:30 and the tip-off at 7 over on 105.7 WROR. Jason Tatum is questionable with a sprained left ankle. Al Horford is questionable with a sprained big toe. The Hawks, meanwhile, will be without Top Gun Trae Young, who is dealing with Achilles tendonitis. The Celtics will also host Cleveland a week from tonight. The Cavaliers improved to 12-0 last night with a 119-113 win in Chicago. Patriots players will be back at practice tomorrow. They'll play the LA Rams in Foxborough on Sunday. The Rams will come to town with a record of 4-5. They were beaten at home by Miami last night, 23-15. And the New York Post is reporting the Red Sox are seen as legit players along with a handful of other teams in the bidding for top free agent outfielder Juan Soto. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by South Shore Bank. At Beatles Bank, sharing your success and growing your business is what above and beyond banking is all about. Visit SouthShoreBank.com, member FDIC, member DIF, equal housing lender. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Boston's best sports talk. There's an app for that. Download the Sports Hub app for loads of stuff. Absolutely free. Connect with the shows, get podcasts, and more. Get it where you get your apps. Or at 985sportshub.com.
Fred, hello. Hello. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
He's naked. He has a sword.
Open him up with a football.
98.5 The Hub!
Bruins are back from the West Coast.
Cocaine and hookers, yes. Na.
Is it okay to use this for the radio?
Yeah. Welcome to the show, you sweet bitch.
Hi, I'm Isaac. Say my name. Hey there.
Hey, good morning, Isaac. Good morning.
Hey there.
Hi, Isaac.
Hi, I'm Isaac.
I know, and you don't reach out anymore, Isaac. You said you were going to listen every day, but I don't.
Say my name.
I know, Isaac, but you don't reach out anymore.
Hey there.
It just seems like I'm setting myself up to be heartbroken. You know? I don't like it.
Well, you kicked him out of the nest, and he spread his wings, and he's flying.
He left the nest on his own accord. I would have kept him around forever. We are Toucher and Hardy, Town Fair Tire Studios. You can call us 617-779-0985. You can also know that we're brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel, and watch us on YouTube. You can do that 24 hours a day, but we're live if you search 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. And here's the deal. We have a Slack chat that people can put things into. Slack is a fun thing.
Not the audience, just amongst ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's got stories, and there is something that Quinn Ewers, the quarterback from Texas, whose stock has dropped mightily over the course of this season. He was he could have been a number one overall pick, but then he just didn't see it. They did something unfair to him. This is obviously an Instagram situation, and here's what it is. It's, first of all, it's just a section of the Instagram conversation, and he says, so I have no idea, and none of us know what happened before all this. Says, just take one, please just take one pic, not even a vid. I want to see your, privates. And today, Audrey just won. Why? Why can't you send one? Why the just one? Fine, whatever, booty. And then the girl says, okay, and then sends a photo. And he says, take it off. And she says, okay. And then that came out. Someone screenshotted that. And as if Quinn Ewers did something wrong in that it seems like he received the nude photos that he wanted to see. Now, unless this is a child, someone under the age of 18, I don't understand what Quinn Ewers did that's wrong or why anyone would blow up his spot about that. And I'm not saying that because there's stuff like laying around with me doing it. But, I mean, people do send nudes. I mean, they do.
It's predatory behavior, Frederick.
When you get them, it's not. When you get them, everyone enjoys them.
So the fox chasing the rabbit is no longer a predator once he catches the rabbit.
When I get nude photos sent to me, I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
And they've come unsolicited, and I don't complain about them. I like it. I mean, if you say, hey, who knows what they were talking about beforehand? And he goes, hey, I want to see, and who knows if they've had sex before? And then it seems like the girl complies to it. And if she released that, then, well, you had a chance. You had the quarterback of Texas after you. You were flirting with him and sending nude photos to each other. And then you blew up his spot, so now it's over. You know who that didn't work out so well for? A woman by the name of Lisa Ann, the famous porn star who's getting old. But remember when she put out the photos of, she was, I guess, sleeping with a lot of athletes.
A Notre Dame football player is what it was.
And then she was in New York and she put out photos of her in bed with this Notre Dame football player.
Yeah.
And I don't think that there's many people that are famous that would have sex with Lisa Ann anymore. Once they blow up your spot, that's why it always seems, and it's not like she was assaulted or he treated her poorly. This was just like, hey, look, I'm having sex with this guy. This wasn't a Me Too thing. This was, just, hey, I'm having sex with this person. Then if I knew that you did things like that and I was famous, I'd never have sex with you again. You just ruined everything for yourself.
So the commentary on Quinn Ewers, requests for the photo, I would say 99% supportive from men and women.
He's a college kid. Yeah.
I don't care if he's 70.
Jack McGuire, let him cook. LZ, let him cook. And then someone brought up something very interesting here. Audrey, because her name is visible on the phone, deleted all her messages back to him to make it look like he was blowing her up, which you can do. You can go through a conversation, just delete some of the messages. And then the funniest one, screenshotted a portion of it and said, Arch sends the same sequence of text to Coach Sark every night begging for reps. Why? Why, though? Just one. Fine, whatever.
It's just, hey, can I see?
Why?
Can I see a new nude photo of you? No. All right. What are you gonna?
And that is, by the way, when you look at the sequence of text, just one, please, just pick not even a vid. Next text is, because I want to see your just one. Why? Why can't you send one? Why the just one? It's obvious this is a conversation.
Right.
And she took out all her stuff. So
except for the pictures where you can click the button and then the picture will come up.
Let him cook.
So say someone's 24 and you go, oh, hey, and you're talking to them and you're like, hey, send a nude picture. And they're like, no. And you're like, okay. I don't get it. I don't understand why you would blow the kid up. Again, you're just hurting yourself. Now I would never trust you. Even if I wasn't famous, I just never trust you.
And by the way, if you're a guy or a girl who wants to send these to somebody that you're with or whatever, fine. Hey, have fun, go nuts. If you ask for one, all right. Some people wouldn't, but if you do, and the person says no, that's it. Or if they just say, no, creep, I'm not doing that, weirdo. Just that's when you stop asking.
Well, yeah, then it would be harassment because you'd be asking them for
Right.
something that they've already said no to.
Right.
But
So maybe that's the weird part, but you can't tell because the conversation is deleted. You only see one side of it. Another reason to never, ever text again. Holy crap. From the Karen Reed trial, there's people up there reading their texts on the witness stand. I don't care what you texted to who. It scared me straight for about 3 days. I just have had all kinds of unreplied to texts. I'm not saying anything to anybody. Not in text. Nope.
do you remember? Do you remember? You know what's kind of something I was thinking about now that might be a good thing? You know how there's Chat GPT and all that stuff where you can just put people's voices in and it's AI can get them to say anything?
Yeah.
And it's like kind of corny and whatever. What if now you just said, and you know how the radio stations were always like, well, now it's everything goes viral and everything goes, and we used to just be able to take it down and now people can go find it on the internet. Why couldn't you just go, I don't know, someone manipulated it. They did it. They would say it's AI. And they go, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. I heard it on the radio. He goes, no, it's AI. You did that with AI. I never said that.
I have the video. Nope, that video is not what I said.
Yeah, that's a...
The station posted it. Well, it's an inside job. Someone's trying to get me.
No, the station posted it. No, he didn't, because then you take it down and you go, no, he didn't. We didn't do that. You concocted that with AI.
Yeah. Okay. The AI defense. I like it.
That's what if that's what I would do. I go, if I was a company and someone said, oh, you had a personality say this, and I wanted to protect them, and it was like one person coming after him, I would one person trying to muck things up as these things usually are.
Yep.
I would just be like, it's AI. They never said that.
Good call.
You're mistaken. It's AI. That never happened. No, it's not. No, it's not. I heard it, and a bunch of other people heard it. Nope. It's AI. Prove it. Yeah, prove it. You're manipulating the audio from the show, or from the personality, and you're making them say these terrible things, and that just didn't happen. And if you would like to litigate this, on your own against a company with in-house counsel, and they'll just do discovery on you, and they'll just keep you in legal circles.
Yeah, but then you get into forensic analysis of the video, and
yeah, you think that some douchebag that has the time to complain to a radio station wants to pay for forensic analysis of a video?
I'm just helping you play this tape to the end, Fred.
I think I would test how long they're willing to sit around and spend money.
Okay.
I think I'd see how long they're willing to drag it out. If they're
right.
willing to drag it out for 5 years to the tunes of hundreds of thousands of dollars just to make their point, to get someone in trouble, I would feel comfortable.
Why don't we
doing
take
that.
it for a spin right now? Just say something that might
Listen,
raise a ruckus. And,
Have someone dispendable like Adam do it.
we'll see what happens. Dispendable?
Is that not the right
Expendable.
word? Expendable.
Yes. 12's in a good mood today. He hit the ground running today.
No, 12's, Hardy and I have discussed this. 12's almost in a too good a mood in the morning.
God. Okay. Listen, I'm in a better mood because I did not have to witness this morning what I witnessed yesterday morning. Fred, you would have lost your mind. Sitting in that back room when I first come in, kind of rallying with the troops. It's like MacArthur going down into the foxholes,
Exactly.
back there with Beaton and Nick. And 12 comes in and throws a hat to Nick. And Nick's like, oh, great, thank you. Like, what is that? Nick launches into a story that 30 seconds in, I wanted to blow my head off with a shotgun.
What?
He couldn't string together 4 coherent words, but it started with Wisconsin, some bar, something, and and he talks for about a minute, and I said, why did Adam 12 give you a hat? What's the hat? And know this much. At this point, I no longer care, But it's almost like an OCD thing. Now I have to know. Now I have to know what the F it is that you're talking about and why you can't explain it in 5 seconds. And I still don't quite understand what happened, why Adam 12 had it, why he gave it to Nick. But hearing Nick try and explain what could have been a simple story as to why Adam 12 gave him a hat turned into the worst 2 minutes of my day.
Well, Nick repeated himself this morning because we were talking about the Texas quarterbacks' messages, and then you and I were talking about how we had seen someone, had been sending these photos. And, a question was asked, and you and I had a great answer that would have been really interesting to the people.
Right, just a little detail nugget, but
then Adam and Nick were just they couldn't be bothered. They were chatting about nonsense.
And I can't ask, I would like to do like the opposite of it and say, hey, 12, could you explain what Nick was trying to explain yesterday? But 12 may be more long-winded than Nick. The difference is he will say it in a very friendly demeanor where Nick is mumbling and stuttering all over himself, so you don't even get the information. You get the information with 12. It just takes too long.
I can be brief, too, if you like, and if you want to know, really.
You gave Nick a hat yesterday.
Yeah.
Where did it come from?
It came from our mutual friend Mike Snow, who was out in Wisconsin, and he went to a bar that they used to frequent when they worked together for doing the festivals together. So he brought a hat back for Nick.
That's pretty good.
He said, "Can you give this?"
That's actually
perfect.
Excellent for 12.
Nothing wrong with that.
I don't know why Nick couldn't do that yesterday and essentially ruin my week. It really did. I thought, here it is. It's 5:15 and my week is ruined because of that interaction. I mean,
5:15 on Monday morning.
On Monday morning.
Wow.
I mean, I was a little upset Nick was today because we had something good that would have been it was like a real firecracker of a detail to what we were talking about, and Nick just rolled over everything. He just machine gunned the whole thing. And then we were just like, and then Hardy and I just were looking at each other like, I mean, your loss.
It really was.
And I still have the photos, too, which I could have shown.
No, you wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't do that. Well, there's nothing. It's not illegal. I mean, I could do it.
You wouldn't do that.
I probably would
You wouldn't.
not do that.
No.
All right. Very good. But there you have it. All right. So much happened last night. What an exciting night of sporting
You know what the
events.
irony is? I'm sitting here wearing a hat that Nick gave me. And I said all these horrible things about him just now. Nick, I apologize. I'm sorry.
Nick, I hope you put some of your various diseases in that hat before you gave it to him, like the Pilgrims did to the Native Americans when they gave them blankets.
I mean, out of Nick's ailments, and they are legion, I don't know that any of them are contagious. He's got a bum ticker. He's prone to stroking out.
Yeah, that's more damage to himself.
And
yeah.
it's quite a wagon he's dragging around. But I don't know that the cardiac issues or the stroke issues or the bulbous rear end issue, any can be passed from one person to
Call
another.
that an issue? I don't know.
Well, listen.
I'm not seeing it.
That's right.
So you're saying if you were to swing in the other direction, John.
John's just saying.
Would
if
Nick be your type?
He'd be my first call.
John's just saying that if we were in prison, that's the roommate he's asking for.
And
he's bringing a lot of Kool-Aid.
We
and a lot
just
of
see things
commentary.
differently, Hardy. I don't know what to tell you.
He likes a man, woman, or child. He just likes a big old butt.
Nick, look out for that honey bun on your bunk.
But that's what he calls them. All right, so
Here,
we'll
boy,
be back.
I want to be smothered and covered. You're going to turn me into Waffle House hash browns.
I think
Come
that's
here.
well documented. I don't see any problem with that.
All right, so we'll be back in just a moment.
Did you catch a game last night?
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. What's going on? What happened last night?
Little Monday Night Football last night, as the Miami Dolphins were in Los Angeles to take on the Rams, and indicative of the long night that it was going to be for the home team was made evident early on.
Stafford out of the shotgun, puts Nakua in motion, back to throw, looking, throws it, it's tipped and it's intercepted. Intercepted by the Dolphins' Anthony Walker. And the Dolphins get the first turnover of this football game in Rams territory.
Matthew Stafford working with a new center in that game last night. So there were some issues, but the Dolphins, in what was mostly a game about defenses, did have some offense working.
Here is a toss. And on the run into the end zone, diving Malik Washington for the touchdown. What a drive.
Saw last night somebody on Twitter had Malik Washington as the first touchdown scorer of the game at plus 8,000. God. Had a $50 bet on that.
Wow.
Like, that's a nice little payout. Good for you.
Pretty good.
I mean, if you've got $50 bills to burn and to wipe your nose with,
You usually
fine.
light that stuff on fire. You do that stuff. Good Lord.
What are you doing? Who was that? Who was well, I don't know who it was, but the first score of the Super Bowl, the Patriots Super Bowl, would be a safety, and somebody put like $100 on it.
Yeah, and then Tom Brady was called for intentional grounding from the end zone. Yeah.
And they were showing off their ticket online, and I believe the number on it was like plus 5,000. So it was like 500 to 1. And I thought, no way would I give you that kind of odds. Or it may have been 50 to 1, because I think it was plus 500. Yeah, 50 to 1 odds that the first score of the game was going to be a safety. I'm like, no. I mean, for like $1 maybe, but there's no way I'm going to give you any kind of action on a bet like that. I mean, the odds are much more likely that, an actual player is going to score a touchdown, for one of the teams than the safety being the first score of the game. But there was one moment in this game in particular that made me think, whatever you do, week in, week out, you're hearing the calls from these other teams. Be thankful that you've got guys like Ryan Johnston and Bob Sosey calling the games for you here in this town.
Shotgun snap, Tua. Rams trying to heat up his pocket. He throws on the move. Intercepted. Christian Rosewood undercut at the 45. Down the right sideline to the 20. Knocked down at the 15. Boom!
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I heard a terrible call on the way in today, too. The Colorado Avalanche. The Colorado Avalanche. And the guy goes, "Oh, hey, you gotta go. But you can't. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here because it's closed."
Yeah.
And then again, I'd say it's November hockey. Stop with your November hockey. Stop it.
All right.
Stop it.
I heard an old school, he shoots, he scores.
That was the Red Wings guy for how many years, right?
Years, decades. What was his name, Fred?
That was the radio guy.
Yeah, radio Red Wings.
I don't know. The TV was oh boy, I forget it. Who cares? TV. Who did that? Now it's gonna bother me. The color guy for the TV, the old defenseman, not Harold Schneps.
Fenefesi.
The crowd screams Harold.
Oh. By the way, Tua Tagovailoa.
I just thought of it.
What?
The guy, the color commentator's name. It just came into my head, and then
it left.
And then it left.
George Blaha.
No, Blaha did Michigan State and the Pistons.
So Tua Tagovailoa, after throwing an interception, made a tackle and went low, hit his head.
He put his head down.
What
are you thinking? And he got kneed in the side of the head.
He's playing football, and he has a lot of concussions, and he's going to invariably hit his head again, either on the ground or on something else. He's not going to be able to avoid it.
Well, it's one thing if it happens naturally. He put himself in that situation, chasing that guy down.
I understand, John, but he's playing a game that requires you to put your head down, and that's just what's going to happen.
If he doesn't chase him down and he just gives the guy the ole into the end zone, then
he's Sauce Gardner.
He's gonna he's gonna get called out for that too. So he was asked about it post game.
I feel good. Everything's good. I went up to that dude that intercepted me and asked him, bro, you couldn't just like ran out of bounds or like cut back? It's like, you seen me and I seen you. Like, you wanted to just run me over. He told me after the game, he's like, there's no room. There was nowhere else to go. He got to do what he got to do to help his team win games. And I wasn't planning on using my head to go hit it.
Yeah, I mean, what a jerk with that interception, not going out of bounds because he saw another player from the other team coming at him.
Guy trying to make himself an extra $10 million on his next contract by actually running it back for a pick six.
Yeah, I mean, what a selfish guy. I mean, if you see Tua coming at you, doesn't everyone know that he doesn't have to play? They should put a flag on him. This is all his decision. It's not a great look for the NFL when he invariably gets hurt again and damages his brain, but there's nothing anyone can do about it. They can't. I can't imagine that there's any way legally that they can stop him from playing if he's been medically cleared. So I actually don't like what he just said. I know he was kind of joking, but then he went on like to describe what the guy was saying to him, like there was no room for me. Like, well, then stay away from the play. There's plenty of quarterbacks and kickers that stay away. I mean, I bet you coaches would give anything for a quarterback not to get involved in a play like that. Just fine, let him score. Like for the good of the season, just let the guy score. It's one possession, it's 6 points, and I'd much rather have you for the rest of the season than you try to take a guy down. It might not look good on film, but everyone knows your situation and da 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 da.
Yeah.
Now this is what I told you, and I know I'm overreacting to what Tua said, but this is what I told you. You can't stop Tua from playing, but you're putting guys on the other team in a very bad situation because someone's going to be the guy that hits them. And if it was last night, the guy not going out of bounds and how could you not go out of bounds? Well, dude, I'm playing football.
Yeah, I'm playing for a job. I'm not a star linebacker making $20 million a year. I have to score on that play.
Or even if it was free, yeah. I'm playing football. Yeah. Like, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not supposed to. So, you know what they should do is they should just put everyone on a team, give them a head injury, and then just hand him the ball like a Make-A-Wish situation and let him run for a touchdown every play.
Yeah, no one touch him.
Yeah, well, you can't touch him. I mean, 10 of the 11 guys on offense have head injuries. I mean, you can't really touch them.
Yeah. There was one curious moment at toward the end of this game where the Rams are trailing. They're not going to win.
Was there a cat there or something on the field?
No, not that type of curiosity. 23-12 the score with 40 seconds left. Rams kick a field goal on third down.
Yep. Their fifth field goal of the game. Yes.
The great Sean McVay, as Fred was singing his praises yesterday.
Yeah, he's a terrible coach.
Saying there's no way the Patriots could get a win against a brilliant mastermind like McVay and a team loaded up like the Rams. Here's what he had to say about it. Sean, field goal on third down?
Did you consider going for it on that 3rd and 4 at the end of the game?
I did, but because it was a 2-possession game and what had occurred felt like kick it away. I thought the defense was playing really well right there. But because of just kind of the flow of the overall game, that was what resulted in keeping it to a 1-possession game.
What?
Yeah, it was a 2-possession game. They needed to get a field goal to make it a 1-possession game, so he got the field goal.
Didn't they kick it with like 40 seconds left?
Yeah.
Okay.
How many timeouts did they have?
I don't know the answer to that.
Well, obviously 3 is the answer, so they would have gotten the ball back. Look at McVay. I trust McVay more than you two morons.
Are you sure they had 3 timeouts?
No.
Okay.
Mickey Redmond, by the way, is the answer.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. To the Detroit question from earlier.
Thank you. That is correct.
Since you brought up the Avalanche, Fred.
Breakaway in overtime. Sam Girard. Yeah! Sammy G gets
And you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here, because this party is over.
Okay.
I don't care if I liked Cleveland. If I liked Colorado more than anything else in the world, I'd hate that guy. I'd hate that guy if they were my favorite team. I'd hate that guy unless that was the Stanley Cup final, and then I would still go, that's not the greatest call. But, I mean, you got to stop. On the 11th of November, you got to stop.
I'm just envisioning Bob Beer standing next to that guy.
Or Cedric Maxwell standing next to that guy.
Either one.
Just rolling their eyes at the doofus.
My God.
I mean, so what if Colorado win? Like, I don't know what the record is, but just say they win 60 games. So 60 times he has to do that, plus the playoffs.
Yeah, it's tough to keep the juice going.
Yeah, like what if they go on like a
long.
5-game winning streak? He's got to just scream and yell 5 games in a row.
Colorado's under 500.
Fair enough, but that wasn't my point. My point was just in an alternate universe. What if they won? What if they won 60 games? And then he's got to trot that out 60 times.
Right.
Like
that's a lot.
I believe they're at 500 with that win there, Johnny.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Oh, thank you. When John stepped in with some unnecessary information, I'm glad you clubbed it over.
It wasn't unnecessary. You said, I don't know what their record is, and I did the exact same thing. My instinct was to see what the record was. John beat me to it, but then...
but that was for your own curiosity. It had nothing to do with the point I was making. The point I was making...
I thought this whole show was for our own curiosity. If we start taking the audience into consideration, I don't know.
What are we doing?
So I can finally start doing experiments?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is what this show largely has been for 17 years.
I always wanted to bring in a Bunsen burner. Now finally I can do that.
Thought experiments, social experiments.
Nice.
Well, if you ever guys want to bring in any waste, I have a microscope.
You know what it is, Fred? It's
What?
It's about testing theories
Dog hair?
and hypotheses, like your theory that Sean McVay and the Rams are unbeatable and they're going to win the Super Bowl. That's what you said yesterday. And then you tell me how much the Cleveland Cavaliers suck at basketball. Well, we'll investigate and do some experimenting on that issue when we continue here in a few minutes.
I will tell you this. If the Patriots beat the Rams on Sunday, that's a hell of a win. That's a hell of a win. That I will tell you, because I don't think there's a way. I don't like the spread. The spread's too big for me to get involved
to see
in
if it dropped from yesterday. It was 5.5.
That's right. That's good. Now, is this for John's curiosity?
Am I allowed to bring this up? I
Yeah.
forgot.
Is it
No,
okay
no,
for-
yeah, you are, because I led you into it.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah, when I
You
leave,
kind of led him into the last one, though.
It's all right.
you're smarter than that. Go ahead.
I'm still searching, Fred.
Oh,
I'm
boy.
sorry.
Here we go.
It isn't lightning quick right at my fingertips.
Why not? You have a
apologize.
computer.
I do have a
So
computer.
it's literally right at
with
your
a hamster
fingertips.
wheel running on it. Yes,
It's quite literally at your fingertips.
I
You have a
don't.
phone
I don't
and a
have
computer.
It.
It's kinda-
Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. 5.5. In all seriousness, it's not a big deal. 5.5 is a big number. I'm not saying they cover. What do I know about gambling? I just
4.5.
Thank you.
Oh, hey, so it went down a
There
point.
it
So
is.
so well done. So, but my point is this: is that my point more than anything was that I think McVay is an incredible coach, and Mayo's a rookie coach. Obviously, the Rams aren't a great team, but they have superior talent. If the Patriots win 2 games in a row, and the second game is against the Rams, and McVay, who can confuse veteran coaches, I just think that would be a great win, and I don't think the Patriots are there yet. With a rookie quarterback who I think McVay could confuse, I know McVay's an offensive guy, but I just think they could confuse him. I think they can confuse the Patriots defense. That's all. But look, I'm all for, even though I have under 4.5 wins, I'm all for the Patriots winning this year. Now that good old Belichick, who badmouthed the team again last night, is back at it, because he is such a dick, and I can't believe Patriot fans don't look at the guy now and just go, "What a petty little prick." You know, that's all. Is that because even when they do well, he doesn't give them credit for doing well.
No.
Like, it's one thing to
the
crap
other
on him
team
when
was bad. Yes.
Like, when they do bad, I could see him crapping all over him, right? Because at least that's in the guise of doing your job. But when they do good and you don't give them any credit, literally make the statement, well, it's not really so much about the Patriots, this is about the Bears. That's holding a vendetta. Well, you know why he has the vendetta. Sorta, but they fired him to his face. They fired him through the I don't know. I don't get it. All I know is that this guy's got photos to take. And the next one, maybe he'll be the mermaid. And she'll be the fisherman. Reverse the roles. And then, is there anything, in Jordan, I love you, but it's not the most attractive photo of her going,
Like the fish out of water.
Yeah, but her face is like, and she's like holding herself up.
No.
Like she's struggling to hold herself up.
Remember your role in this. You are allies.
I am allies,
Okay.
but I'm telling Jordan, maybe not yourself so much in the photo next time in character. It's not that attractive. Bill in a little boy sailor suit, big lollipop and a balloon, and maybe you can dress like a hot librarian, scolding him for bringing the balloon in the lollipop into the library. There, I just did it, Jordan. Like you're a naughty librarian, your hair in a bun. You know, just you take that bob out, your hair is gonna fall and everyone's gonna know how beautiful you are.
My God, he posted underneath that original one too. Her caption in it is "ouch," and then he posted "my biggest catch," 3 exclamation points.
Yeah, and then he said the biggest needle that I need to put into my unit in order for it to work. I gotta shoot straight adrenaline into that thing, honey. For poof. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headline.
Sports Hub headlines.
Bruins.
Beautiful ball of flame.
And a whole lot of Boston sports.
And I have had many offers to become an insider. Yeah.
Fred, the song's called I'm So Tired because you were sharing that information with me while we were tinkering just a few minutes ago.
Oh, you tired, friend?
So I figured I would, throw it into the regional.
I had my overnight oats a little too early, and I'm just waiting for the energy to kick in. And once it does,
Good thing about them oats, it's sustained energy. It's like a time release Tylenol. It's gonna
Right.
give you energy throughout the morning hours. Once it kicks in, it's gonna be a slow burn of energy all the way till about noontime.
this isn't Lil Wayne.
No, what?
It sounded a lot like Lil Wayne. Hey, Dad, what's that? We're in a band that sings like this.
Lil Wayne is a rapper that does he rap like that?
I don't know what he's doing. I don't know. You're kind of on your own. Fountains of Wayne?
No, I was joking because that was just so
Anti-Lil Wayne.
Anti-Lil Wayne.
Can you play Radiation Vibe coming back next, please, Paul?
There
Yeah, I'll
is
get that one.
such a
Good
thing.
one, actually.
We're a band that sings like this.
You know what? We got to give Fred a pass today because he's obviously very tired.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday, he was shooting his mouth off about the Cavaliers stink.
It wasn't yesterday. I reminded of you this morning, me saying it. It was last week.
And it was yesterday, all throughout the show, saying things like, they won't even win 10 games. Well,
No,
dummy,
this was-
they had already won 11 when you
might-
said that, but John and I let it slide.
This might have been even longer than a week ago, but I did remind you that I had said that this morning.
Blowing up my phone last night via text, I can't believe how bad this team stinks. Really?
The rebound, Garland out front, Mitchell. Straightaway three. Perfect! Donovan Mitchell with a 25-point first half.
Getting it done early and often.
Rebound, Mitchell tipped it to Wade, got it back to Jerome. Jerome against Giddey. Jerome into the paint. Jerome put it up, no. Niang follows and banked it home.
Against Chicago last night, going for their 12th straight win. Would they get it done?
Ball loose on the floor. Wade have it, gave it to LeVert. 2-1. Buzzer sounds. Cavs win. Cavaliers win 119-113. How about a sweet dozen for the Cavaliers? 12 in a row to start the 24-25 campaign.
A sweet dozen. I'm not familiar with that phrase. Baker's dozen, dirty dozen, sweet dozen.
Yeah.
Okay. But Donovan Mitchell, 36 points. That win over the Bulls in Chicago last night makes them the 8th NBA team to start a season with 12 straight wins. So, Fred, would you like to rethink your theory on the Cleveland Cavaliers?
All right, so they have, Kenny Atkinson as their coach. I heard a guy this weekend saying that this team reminds him of when Steve Kerr took over Golden State, that this is all the difference in the world. But now I'm reading about how that this team is that when defenses start focusing in the playoffs, that this team is going to be the chances of making through the Eastern Conference are very slim.
Not a lot of depth. Not a lot of depth.
And they're
for
shooting at
Cleveland.
some ridiculous percentage. They're hitting, I can tell you right now, they're
shooting over 50% as a team from the field.
they're shooting a league high 50% on wide open attempts.
Yep.
And Darius Garland is shooting 48%.
And as a team, they're shooting over 40% from three.
Yeah.
Which is unheard of.
Yes.
Not a lot of depth, though. Donovan Mitchell is great. This is apparently Evan Mobley's breakout year, and Jared
He's
Allen
going to be defensive player. They're saying Mobley defensive player of the year.
Yes. He's always been very, very good defensively. But this apparently is when he takes his next step forward, and Jared Allen is a very big guy who's a double-double machine, but long way to go. Cleveland started a couple of years ago, 8-1 or 9-1, and faded quick. We'll see.
Yeah, there's only 3 teams in NBA history have started this well and won a championship.
Yeah.
That is something that is going on right now.
And they will be here a week from tonight. Cleveland will.
The depth doesn't bother me as much as the defense. And depth is nice to have, especially if you're going to have an off night with one of your key players into the postseason. But it's not as, I mean, honestly, in the playoffs, how much do you really care beyond the 6th, 7th man?
Oh, no, it has nothing to do with what I think they're going to do in the playoffs. It has everything to do with sustainability throughout the season. There will be injuries that happen, and maybe you don't get that extra home game you need as a result because you don't have the depth.
Right. But the defense, it's everything.
Yeah, defense carries.
It's everything once. It's like a different sport. But, once these guys start playing in the postseason and it's not just, a free-for-all, free lane down the court. I mean, when these guys start applying pressure at midcourt at least, that's when the game really changes.
Celtics have always had trouble with Cleveland over the last 2 or 3 years. But I guess my point is, if you wind up going somewhere for a Game 7 instead of having a Game 7 yourself, that's the difference in depth during the regular season.
And, only 3 teams in NBA history have won the title after starting the season with at least 10 wins in a row. So you don't want to win 10 in a row. That's like a mojo, black magic.
Okay.
But my point remains, if it's Cleveland in Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals, that's a huge disappointment. After the improvements the Knicks made and the seemingly improved 76ers team.
That's a mess.
It's a mess right now. But if it's not one of those 2 teams, they really should face both if this is going to be any kind of exciting playoff.
Mm-hmm.
Because at least with the Knicks, it will be a big deal because that's all anyone nationally cares about is the Knicks. It's the only team they care about. They all grew up Knicks fans. So that's all they care about.
Me in particular, I guess the national media wouldn't want it this way, but me personally, I'd like to see Milwaukee in the playoffs.
Oh, would you, John?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, that's nice to know.
As for the Celtics, they play the Hawks at home tonight. What's special about this game tonight, John?
Oh, it's the opener of the NBA Cup party. I'm glad you asked. You get to look on the really cool floor.
Yeah, there's a new floor.
A new floor that you get to see. And this one, unlike last year, doesn't seem nearly as obnoxious as some of the ones you've seen in the past.
While the NBA Cup remains equally obnoxious, and the fact that it is a thing and it is maybe it's just a tiny bit of my own what is it? What is the thing you have, Fred? The oppositional defiance disorder. I got a tiny bit of it when it comes to this stuff. Here's something you need to care about. Oh, do I? Because right away I'm going to tell you my initial reaction is I don't care. But all right, tell me more. Well, it's an in-season tournament for the don't care. Do not care. Mm-hmm. I don't know. No.
Yeah, especially with hockey, with the Battle of the Nations coming up, which has got everyone on the edge of their seat. And by the way, we're going to get into this Bill Simmons thing coming right up because we're going to break here. But I just want everyone to know while we have time, Bill Simmons is producing an HBO Celtics docuseries to release in 2025.
Yes.
Called Celtic City.
Yes.
And it really is Celtic City. It really is.
So it's about Boston?
It's
or
about
the Celtics?
No, it's about the team that he likes the best.
Oh.
A team that has had very little coverage and their history is almost unexamined. Finally, Bill Simmons will write about the Celtics, make something about the Celtics, and finally this franchise will be covered. Because I, for one, will be first in line going, ooh, the Celtics. Didn't NBC Sports Boston do a 17-hour documentary on just the 86 Celtics?
Yes. That was lengthy, yes.
Yeah, this is well-worn ground. Stop making documentaries about professional sports franchises in Boston. Stop. It's too much. It's too much.
I don't think, I think the Red Sox, the coverage the Red Sox got for 2004 kind of paved the way.
Did you watch, in all seriousness, did you watch the Netflix thing?
I did.
Okay. Did you learn anything from it?
I did, actually.
Okay.
I learned a few things. I went in skeptical, and I thought it was very well done.
Yeah, because I just can't imagine that connects with anyone nationally because that's well-worn ground. And for good reason. I mean, it was the Red Sox after, what was it, 1918, 86 years. So after 86 years, I mean, that was a big deal.
Well, there was a 30 for 30 called 4 Days in October that already came out. So.
I'm pretty aware they did the shot and everything else.
Yeah.
Like, I know what happened. I know what happened. It's just an awful lot of... And good for Bill Simmons if it's a passion project, but I just can't imagine funding it.
I can't imagine being passionate about it when you live through it. And now, I mean, documentaries used to be cool because you didn't have easy access to all this old footage. And I'm glad that you learned something from it. I haven't watched it, and I'm sure I would learn a few things too. But for the most part, if you're just looking to relive moments from that run and from that series, it's right there. You can have it. You can have it instantaneously.
Bill
Look it up.
Simmons' dad had season tickets at the Old Garden. When things were rough.
Okay.
All right.
Well, then now I will watch it.
All right. We'll be back in just a moment.
Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub, a Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
The Bruins get back to work tonight. They visit the St. Louis Blues. The home team has lost 5 out of 7. They're wrapping up a 5-game homestand. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 7:30 and the face-off at 8 here on 98.5, the Sports Hub. The Bruins also made some news yesterday by sending forward Matt Poitras down to Providence. Celtics also play tonight at home against Atlanta. This is the first night of pool play in the 2024 NBA Cup. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 6:30 and the tip-off at 7 over on 105.7 WROR. Jason Tatum is questionable with a sprained ankle. Al Horford also questionable with a sprained big toe. Trae Young out for the Hawks with Achilles tendonitis. The Cleveland Cavaliers won in Chicago last night, 119-113. They're 12-0. They'll be here to play the Celtics a week from tonight. The Patriots host the LA Rams Sunday. Last night, the Rams were beaten by Miami 23-15 out west. They are 4-5. And the New York Post is reporting that while the meetings with top free agent Juan Soto will apparently begin this week, the Red Sox are seen as a serious contender for his services and will fly to the West Coast to meet with him soon. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by East Coast Metal Roofing, the official roofing partner of the Boston Celtics. Mention 98.5 the Sports Hub and get 10% off your new roof. Visit eastcoastmetalroofing.com. I'm John Wallach of Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 the Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
Here we go.
Boom.
I win.
Boom.
Yeah. It's so funny.
We've got a passion for Boston sports.
Get angry.
98.5 the Sports Hub. What's the best way to listen to Toucher and Hardy?
Well, you're going to have to spend $40.
Cough it up, and let's get back to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
I'm a Red Sox fan and I could die. I'm a Red Sox fan and I could die. I'm a Red Sox fan and I could die. Happy. I'm a Red Sox fan and I could die. I'm a Red Sox fan and I could die. I'm a Red Sox fan and I could die. Happy. 1918. What does it mean? 1918.
What does it mean? 86 years. 86 years. 86 years. 86 years. Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. This is how I remember everything with that championship. Happy.
The best was a guy called up, the lead singer. There is more than one guy called up and said, "I could do it acoustic over the phone if you want."
I find that hard to believe.
We somehow let that happen.
Love. All right, you can watch this on YouTube. Search 98.5 The Sports Hub. Michael, go ahead, Michael.
Buddy, I love you guys. Hey, I'm on episode 3. The only day worth living right now is the Red Sox winning. You got to watch that, Fred. Love you guys.
All right. You got your handful over there with that lady yelling in the background. I'll tell you that.
Of course, married with children, Fred. It's the modern day married with children, buddy.
I understand. It's whoa.
Trying to get these children out to the bus, you know.
Well, I appreciate you calling in under these circumstances. So you say episode 3 is what is good on the documentary.
Episode 3, claim to fame, local celebrity, also a neighbor of your good friend Esoteric, who's also my daughter's soccer coach. So a lot of good times happening here in New England.
All right. Well, listen, when I was going into the gym yesterday, the guy said that he used to work at the gym that Esoteric went to. And I go, Esoteric goes to the gym? What are you going to do? And by the way, as I said yesterday, he's in that Venom movie.
Why wouldn't you think he went to the gym?
Because he's a big fat load of crap. That's why. So he's in the.
He's your friend.
He's obviously not fat, but you asked, and so I had to deliver a big dickish line. But so he's in that Venom movie. He bumps into Tom Hardy in the movie, and he said it took like 12 times for them to get it. But did you know, this is very quick, but did you, what happens in the movie is, and it's a big spoiler, is Tom Hardy's walking through Las Vegas, but there's no one else around, and Esoteric Seamus is walking down the street. It's just the two of them in the camera.
Yeah.
And he bumps into him, and he turns around, and he looks at him, like gives him a dirty look, and walks on. I didn't know that he was in the movie, but it was obvious enough that it's just the two of them in the scene, no lines. And since I knew they were friends, I was like, oh my God. And Zoe, my daughter, even was like, wow, that's him. That's pretty, like, he go fly to Vegas, like, we'll fly to Vegas and we're going to shoot something 12 times just so I can say that you're in my movie for, like, it's a good 5 seconds, which if you think about it in the movies, like, not a short amount. It's not like a glancing thing. It's just him and Tom Hardy on the screen for 5 seconds.
Flying him to Vegas, so what? But the fact that they would devote like a setup for a scene, and it sounds like Tom Hardy insisted on it, and it made it into the film. Those are the more impressive things to me.
No, the flying to Vegas thing's very impressive because if it was shooting in Boston and they're like, hey, can you just come to it? Like, and he was hanging around the set and they're like, do you want to come into this? The idea that they planned and said, I want my friend in it, fly him out here because this is the part of the movie he's going to be in. Not the, $250, $300 flight to Vegas.
Yeah.
Just the idea that they, went through the machinations of going, this is the scene he's going to be in. It's going to be in Las Vegas. Get him out here for essentially like an extra role. I mean, I don't think you have to have a SAG card to not have lines.
Well, we will be watching it either in the theater or in my home because out of the three odd things that Marcy movie-wise is into, one of them is Venom. The other one is Hellboy. She's not a comic book person at all.
Hellboy, really?
Yeah, Hellboy, Venom, and what's the third weird thing that, I don't know, whatever. But we have to watch everything involving those two.
I like those Hellboy movies with Ron Perlman. The first couple ones are good.
Yeah, well, she does too.
Yeah, if you don't know what's going on with Venom, don't go see the new Venom until you've seen the first couple Venoms because I have no idea what the hell was going on.
I know what it is. It's Marilyn Manson. It's not a movie. It's her Marilyn Manson borderline obsession. Like,
boy, that's got to be scary to go to his shows.
We went to one.
I'm a big, huge nerd.
2-3 years ago. It was at the House of Blues. I'm like, really? It was like a Thursday night, too. I'm like, you want to go see? Yes, I want to go see Marilyn Manson.
I'm freaky. I'm a huge band geek. Ah!
All right, let's go to Marilyn Manson.
I'm a band geek with makeup on. And by the way, I'm in a lot of trouble.
And you know, Marcy, nothing about her says Hellboy, Venom, or Marilyn Manson. You would not expect either one of those things to be like in her.
But something
order.
about her taste says band geek. And so there you are.
Yeah.
Now it all makes sense.
Kaboom. Marilyn Manson has always been very funny to me. The beautiful people. The beautiful nerd.
One of the top 3 loudest shows I was ever at.
It has to be loud to get over his shyness.
And they had a comedian open up for him New Year's Eve at the Hard Rock in Las Vegas.
What do you know the comedian? Do you remember?
I've looked it up before I can find out real quick. It was, and the comedian has talked about it since then. He's like, "Oh, worst show ever. Worst spot." And anyone there was like, "Yeah, this is a terrible idea. Why are you doing this?"
Yeah, you shouldn't open up for anything that's not another comic. But I told you I interviewed Marilyn Manson, and it was hysterical. It was backstage at the Tabernacle, and he had created a vibe.
Oh.
He had lit candles. And then you meet him, and he's like this skinny dork. And you're like, I get it. He's like, torture devices. And you're like, you couldn't do anything to anyone, you big pussy. What are you going to do about it? Yeah, you can't do anything. I mean, it's just, there's certain people that you're like, wow, they're insane. Yeah. And then there's Marilyn Manson. All right, Bill Simmons is absolutely nuts. He's nuts for Boston sports. He's making a documentary, as we just discussed, on the Celtics, which is finally that organization's being recognized. But he, you would think, would love Tom Brady. He is not that big a football guy. I'm not sure about Bill Simmons. I know he listens to the show from time to time. But he's like a basketball guy, on account of that big old book he wrote.
Yep.
But here is Bill Simmons talking about Tom Brady. You would think that he would love him, but here it is.
I thought Brady was just bad today. That Lions-Packers, which I thought was a really good game, and I found myself, I just really wanted better announcers for it. He just doesn't tell me enough. And, he was talking about the weather, and sometimes it's hard to catch a pass, but I just felt like what was going on with Love, like Brady's obviously played hurt. I really wanted, that would have been the perfect, Romo would have dove into that and be like, I can tell Love's hurt and here's why.
So I look at the Ringer every morning here. I don't really look at it at home. I don't know why. We've discussed this before. It's just something interesting about me. One of the many things that makes me a lot of fun to be around. But listen to this and tell me, because we make fun of podcasts, listen to this. Meet the Parents with Bill Simmons and Kyle Brandt. Bill Simmons hosts Kyle Brandt for a weekend away to play some indoor pool volleyball and rewatch the 2000 comedy Meet the Parents.
It's the most boring thing I could possibly think of.
First of all, Kyle Brandt, wow. What it's an hour and 48 minutes long.
Well, an hour and 36 of it is Bill Simmons talking.
And I get, Mystery Science 3000, if you get, funny guests. Jesus, I love that Saved by the Bell podcast that came out years ago where they had the comedians who had never seen Saved by the Bell watch an episode and then talk about it. But Meet the Parents? That's not ripe for parody. That's just an okay comedy, right? There's nothing overly bad about it or super good about it. It just kind of exists, which makes me think the humor is going to be very middle of the road. Boy, there's a lot to listen to nowadays.
Yeah,
there really is.
Too much stuff.
What are you going to do? I don't know. I got an hour and 48-minute car trip. I think I'm going to listen to the guy from the Good Morning NFL and Bill Simmons shoot it about while they watch Meet the Parents.
Watch this throw, watch this plant leg. Just teach me something. Brady's not teaching us anything. He should do a blind game and not even know who's on either team and just watch the game and tell us what he sees.
Well, that would just be cruel. A blind game? They wouldn't even know where the ball was going.
Oh,
Fred. See, I don't think he's doing that at all. I think he's being poorly produced is where I'm landed, because I think whatever they're telling him to do, it's not working. And I don't feel like I'm watching the game with him. He comes in the beginning. He's got this fake energy where he's going, I'm so excited for this one, Kevin. And it's just none of it feels genuine to me. And then on top of it, he owns a piece of Vegas, and it feels like he can't be as critical maybe as he wants to be in certain spots. But this guy's one of the greatest resources in football that we have, and they don't tap into any of it.
That's not true. And that's completely unnecessary and a misnomer. Being a good analyst is really just being a compelling television personality, and your ability at that position that you played has nothing to do with it. Charles Barkley's not the greatest basketball player of all time, but he's the greatest studio analyst in basketball history. Chris Collinsworth was not the greatest football player of his generation, but is the greatest current analyst, in my opinion, in the NFL. I'm telling you, he nailed it. You want to talk about nailing that Texans Detroit game? Because when Detroit was down in that game, he was like, "This is good for Detroit. Win or lose, this is good because these are the kind of games you're gonna have to play you're gonna have to play in the playoffs." And it was just, I thought, a great insight, A, to keep people interested in the game, and B, not just stating the obvious. I watched the Jets Arizona game, and they had a D-list team on it, right? And the Jets got killed, but it was 14-6, okay? The Jets were still in that game, and he's like, they're not doing anything right. This is just terrible. And then you're, okay, yeah, I can see that. Sell it a little bit. Do a little bit of a sales job. You don't have to be that phony.
Yeah.
Put a scenario where they get, you get a stop here and you get the ball back, da-da-da-da-da. I don't know. I really like Collinsworth. I think he's the best.
I know it's in there, and they have not unlocked it.
How do you know it's in there? It's not in there. There's nothing in there. He's never going to be as good as that salary. He's just not going to ever be good at it. He could not be annoying. He's better than Romo, in my opinion, but Romo's a detriment to the game. And he still does that, by the way.
It's been so long since I've seen him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. They do 1 o'clock games sometimes, though.
Okay.
And you'll flip it on. I haven't, it's been a while since I've seen a lot of Romo.
Both of our teams have not exactly been Nance and Romo worthy.
No, the Jets have just been on prime time, and I bet you the league's pretty happy about that.
And I think they really have to figure it out. And he seems super over-prepared to me. I don't think he's good at it.
Bill Simmons, good point, because what did I tell you guys? That there is such a thing as being over-prepared.
Yeah.
The idea of preparation for a live broadcast where you're reacting is a very, very bad thing. To enter the flow state, as one Rick Rubin would tell you, you have to have an awareness of what's going on, but you cannot have an awareness of what you are going to say, if that makes any sense. If you come in overloaded with information that you want to get into something, it's not going to be nearly as good as you watching and reacting to the game. His experience should be his barometer. If I was coaching Brady to do the games, I'd be like, you know what? I don't want you really doing a whole lot. I want you to react to the game as it's going on. I want you to know who the players are, but we got guys to help you with that. Like, kind of familiarize yourself with the teams, but I don't want you inundated with information. I want you reacting organically to what you're seeing, which is impossible to prepare for.
There's no formation he hasn't seen. There's no situation on a football field he hasn't seen, and that makes him unique.
Right, and that's why you hire him.
And if you go back to the stuff that people really liked about Romo when he first started, that wasn't as a result of preparation. That was him just seeing something, organically reacting to it in the moment and calling out a play or predicting whether something was going to be a success or whether it was going to get blown up.
There was some controversy in that he was going to the team. Brady, I would be like, don't even go to practice.
Well, he can't.
Yeah, that's just it. That's not a problem.
No, I know, but I would be like, don't go to practice. This is all before. This is just general rules. I'd be like, don't go to practice. Talk to the guys a little bit, like if you want to get like a little like interesting background on them. I don't want you breaking down their film. I want you going in like a fan who's played 20 years of football at the professional level, to go in there and just say what you see. Say what you see and react to it like a fan. React to it like an expert fan. That's what I want you to do. I want your excitement to be genuine. I don't want you to manufacture it. And I want you to go in and I want you to just talk about what you see. Let the play-by-play guy do all the heavy lifting with all that crap, and you react. That's it. That's what I would tell them. But no one knows how to coach talent because they're all I can tell you guys off the air if you really want me to bore you for an hour off the air. I can tell you about how business people are controlling creative content in every medium, and they're doing it based on like almost a minute-to-minute situation, and it's going and they're failing, and that's why they're failing at all these things.
Wow.
So anyway, Bill Simmons is on the right track there, I'll tell you. So much, an hour and 48 minutes of breaking down Meet the Fockers or Meet the Parents with Kyle Brandt. Maybe not. I think we've reached the end of what podcasts can do. I think we've reached the end. All right, when we come back, Fluto Shinzao is going to join us. Have we reached the end of Jim Montgomery? Our own in-house NHL guy has said so. We'll find out what Fluto has to say in just a moment. Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, and today's the last day to bid on Pucks and Paddles. It's back November 20th at the House of Blues, Boston, to benefit the Special Olympics, Massachusetts. Bidding is officially underway to play with your favorite active Bruins player, me, Ryan Johnston, or Hardy. Here's what you got to do. This copy is not overly correct because we're not getting... I have the highest bid out of anyone, which is not bragging. I swear to God, what it is there's a problem. And I'm not doing that to be modest. I'm saying, like, this is DEFCON 5. There's a lot of people without bids on them. I don't know why it says to go to the events page, because Hardy had to tell me via text how to do this. You text paddles to 76278, okay? You text paddles to I did it, Hardy did it. 76278. They'll ask you your name, whatever you want to give them, and then they give you a link. And then that link takes you to the place to bid. I'll do this every hour today, Adam, because there's only 11 hours left to bid.
Sure.
And I know Fluto's on the line, but if I could, I'm just going to tell you, Bob Sweeney doesn't have any bids, whatever.
Oh, you no longer have the highest bid, though.
Okay, good. 1, 2, that's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 Bruins don't have bids on them. Who has a higher? Oh, Jeremy Swayman and Pasternak and Coyle. Good. And Frederick. Good. All right. Well, that's good. And but I just told you, what, 7 guys don't have bids on them?
Yeah.
That's $400. So maybe that's just like some nobody that you don't even care about. But the deal is that you get on the floor to play. The ping pong's just a device to get you rubbing elbows with the players. They pretty much have to take photos with you. They pretty much have to sign your stuff. So you go in there and they'll sign your stuff. You'll take pictures. You get to hang out. It's a fairly long event. The ping pong is just kind of a secondary thing. I don't know if you get anything if you win. But again, let's. I feel a little guilty about this. 76278. I think Scott Zolak just sent me
text paddles to 76278. We'll hit this a lot more.
I think that Scott Zolak just sent me an actual complimentary text.
Okay,
he wasn't being sarcastic. Paddles to 76278. Don't rush me. I'm trying to make money
here
for the Special Olympics. I don't think Fluto would mind. Fluto, do you mind when I'm promoting something for the Special Olympics? Does that bother you, Fluto, to sit on hold while I do so?
Business is business.
Okay.
This is charity, my friend.
That's a yes.
This is a philanthropic endeavor.
Yeah, it bothers him.
All right. Well, Fluto Shinzao is our good friend. He's a senior writer for The Athletic. He joins us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Fluto, a lot of noise going around about the future of Jim Montgomery. It's early in the season. The theme is 500. They have a lot of new talent. What are you hearing with that noise, and what are your feelings on it?
Well, I was kind of surprised that it didn't happen earlier, just because it was so bad. Specifically the loss to the Flyers, which was just dreadful at home, 2-0, complete lack of execution, and then to follow that up with that 8-2 whatever that was against Carolina. Those are two games. 2 performances that really put coaches on the line. Now it's kind of flattened out a little bit in terms of regression. There's been some progress 5-on-5. I think the goaltending is getting better, but still you've got a lot of hot spots in terms of number 30 in the league power play, like 24th penalty kill, 5-on-5 goals. David Pastrnak 1, Brad Marchand 1. Elias Lindholm 1. A lot of underperformance. They say the kid is not ready, Matt Poitras, to play NHL hockey. So see you later. Go down to Providence. So in terms of the coach, he hasn't really found lasting solutions yet, and he's in the last season of his deal. And I'm assuming he's looking for a decent raise for not only next year, but for years to come on his next deal. So you can understand why there's no new deal in place for Jim. So all of that, yeah, it's you can't say it's early anymore. This is 16 games. This is a long stretch of underperformance in layers upon layers of the roster, which really compounds their issues. So yeah, it's just the business of the league that in these kinds of situations, the coach is always in duress, and that might be the case for Jim.
In what area, Fluto, would Montgomery be able to make the biggest and most immediate impact? Is it the 5-on-5 play? Is it the penalty kill? Is it the power play?
That's a great question. You can always look at special teams and say, okay, there's structure here. There's set plays. There's a template and a blueprint here. If you look at the power play specifically, that you can turn to and say, okay, this can somewhat be managed and coached up. But that said, I'm sure him and Chris Kelly, who's in charge of the power play, and everybody, they're all beating their heads together and saying, guys, why don't you shoot? Why don't you pass? Why don't you move and rotate and create seams that then you can really exploit and look for that slot line pass to Pastrnak that we've seen for so long, which really hasn't been there. A bumper play from Marchand into Lindholm. McAvoy, why don't you shoot more? Why don't you be more decisive? Now they've made an adjustment in terms of putting Hampus Lindholm up top instead of Charlie Spot tonight against St. Louis. Perhaps that will lead to a little bit better play. I think Hampus has been their best player so far. So you can look at that. You can look at the PK and say, okay, this is perhaps structurally you have to. I'm not sure what the solution is. If you have to be tighter in your formation, if you have to be more aggressive on loose pucks, but it's such a combination of structure and individual play that has been falling short. I would say special teams in terms of where the coaching can really influence the play more so than on 5-on-5. Some of this just has to like David Pastrnak, he has to play better. Elias Lindholm, you have to be more consistent. Charlie Coyle, he's been okay in terms of his all-around play, but still 0 5-on-5 goals. You have to get something from him. Zadorov, okay, fine, you're adjusting. It's got to be better. Yep. Lowry, got to be better. McAvoy has to be better.
How much?
It's you go down the line. There's so many
that's a lot. How much of this is Jim Montgomery being used as a human shield for the lack of a roster building by Don Sweeney?
The roster is flawed at this point. Just because it looks bad because you have so many players underperforming. Like Pastrnak, he's going to be better, right? This is unsustainable performance from David just because we've seen it. We know what he's capable of. Same thing with Brad, especially once he gets more of his legs and his conditioning in place to where he wants it to be. Like that's going to come. Charlie Coyle, the production is going to come. I think Pavel Zacha has more, and it's coming. I see some signs there of improvement. Justin Brazeau, he's been pretty good in terms of a very limited specific role, but he's fulfilled it for the most part. But yeah, there's no help coming. The young players are learning on the job, and that'd be one thing if you had a good segment of your roster producing. You could kind of shelter Patra and Lowry, but there's nowhere to hide on this roster right now. And so far, Elias Lindholm, what are you paying him? 7.75 times 8 has not fulfilled the price. Zadorov at $5 million so far has not. Now Kaslik, that's been a good pickup. Cole Koepke, very good signing. But overall, yeah, it's the management's choices so far have not been working out. I think that will regress toward a more positive outcome as time goes on, but by then it might be too late for the coach.
Yeah, and if they do end up getting rid of Jim Montgomery, is it an in-house? Do you bring in someone in-house? And if that's, I know we're just speculating, but I actually was asking people about this off air yesterday. Like, do you bring in something in-house? Is there a guy that's in the organization that they think very highly of? Because, you know, a lot of times it's like, we'll get rid of the coach, and then you say, okay, we can do that, but who are you going to bring in?
Well, Joe Sacco's been in place for a long time now, and they promoted him to associate coach. No, it's a title, and I'm sure there was probably some compensation adjustment there, but he has head coaching experience. Now the question is, would that be enough of a jolt to the team, and a different outlook that it would produce results? We don't know. Now they brought back Jay Leach too from Seattle. Jay, very highly thought of when he was the head coach in Providence, and interviewed like Joe did for what ultimately became Jim Montgomery's job. So there's two options there. But the question is, do the bosses determine that, okay, are these in-house personnel, these coaches, would they produce enough of progress rather than going outside and paying more for somebody to bring in?
How often does that? Yeah. I'm sorry. I was just going to ask, how often does that happen that a team will go outside the organization during the season for a new coach?
Oh, all the time.
Okay.
All the time. And there's coaches out there. So it just depends to what degree they think a coaching change would influence the results, and would it be worth it to go outside?
Okay. And when you watch these games, do you think it's a matter of players just underperforming, or do you see tactical errors? What's your personal opinion? Do you think this team needs a jolt like that?
Well, the longer it goes on, look, it would be unfair to the coach right now, just because there's so many players underperforming. But why is that? Is that because the coach is on them, where he's been? It's really the first 2 years of his career here. There's really been no reason to get on these guys until playoffs. So now that he's on them and he's being more direct and more firm, how is that influencing players? I don't know. I haven't heard anything in terms of, oh, geez, now that this coach has really turned to the dark side, so to speak, that, whoa, this is not working. This is not who he is. But you have to be consistent as a coach to who you are. And if you're glass half full and always positive, and then suddenly, all of a sudden, just because things are not going well, that you turn to this demanding person, well, players can really see through that, and they might not play to their full potential. But I have to see more improvement from the players too. I wrote about this today. It will be a long document, even on the internet, to go through all the players that are underperforming and why they have to improve. So that's just, it can't go on like this, but it has for 16 games. The answer, guys, always somewhere in the middle. There's coaching can be better. Management could have made better choices, but ultimately the players, they have to be better.
All right, Fluto Shinzawa, as the Bruins take on the St. Louis Blues tonight at 8 o'clock. Pregame starts here at 7 o'clock. You'll hear the game here. Fluto, excellent analysis as always. Read him on The Athletic. He's the man. Thank you, Fluto.
My pleasure, guys.
All right, we
Thanks,
appreciate
Fluto.
it. And can I just apologize for Hardy to the Special Olympics for his really just kind of carefree rushing.
Yeah, well, it's not like we have another 2.5 hours to hammer home that information. Didn't have to be done while Fluto was sitting there, and you were being very rude to him.
I thought that was a great question, too, by the way. That
Thanks.
You asked.
It was.
No, he was
Fluto
terrible.
It
was so vague.
And it was a really good question, and it was the only thing we could do to save our friendship with Fluto after you were so rude to him. But that's kind of you. I mean, he's probably used to it.
Fluto texted me after that question. He's like, I got to throw this guy a lifeline. He's like, I feel for the kid. Yeah. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, okay, you do that. Anyway, I'm going to go through a big, long read again for the Pucks and Paddles.
You should.
I should. All right. Paulie Feinbaum, baby. Georgia lost again. I don't know. They lost to Ole Miss. I know that. And those are two hick teams. Well, Georgia's not really. Ole Miss is. They have a lot of white supremacists wearing suits at their games. It's a whole situation. We will hear what Mr. Feinbaum's callers had to say in just a moment.
Sports Hub headlines.
describes himself in 7 words.
A guy in tights and a cape.
And Hardy with blunt honesty.
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
Toucher and Hardy continues on the Sports Hub.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. You can know that is happening. Paul Feinbaum is a scholar and gentleman. He hosts a radio show that covers basically college football throughout the South, and he has callers that he just lets go run loose, and we're getting down to the nitty-grit of our first 12-team playoff season. And what do we have here, gentlemen?
Hey, Paul.
Hey, Paul. What do we have, gentlemen, with us?
We have a phone call after the had to have been an LSU-Alabama game.
Alabama.
That's right. And Dwayne is calling in, very upset. As you know, Paul Feinbaum gets callers from all over the SEC and all over college football. And
Let's not go crazy. All over the SEC.
You will soon know which side of the fence this gentleman lands on.
Well, if he's upset, it's got to be LSU.
Well,
you would think. All right. LSU got blown out by Alabama, right?
That is correct.
Okay, here we go.
Been a busy show. We started talking to Brian Kelly about the debacle Saturday night in Tiger Stadium. Dwayne is up next.
Brian Kelly told you, he didn't tell you got fired, huh?
Yeah. That's about it, Dwayne. Hey, Dwayne not sounding how I thought Dwayne would, and now I remember it's the Paul Feinbaum show. But I thought he was going to go, hey. But
hey, Paul.
He's like, hey, Paul, I got sunglasses that flip up over my glasses. I'm Dwayne Wayne.
Oh, yeah. Dwayne, what's happening? Hey, Paul, I'll meet you down at Rob's Diner. Shirley's going to get us some burgers.
Yeah, Shirley's sure sassy. But, yes, he comes right out of the box not speaking English.
Brian Kelly told you, he didn't tell you got fired, huh? Brian Kelly didn't tell you that, huh, Paul Feinbaum, you got fired, huh?
Now, Paul Feinbaum cannot understand what this guy's saying, as he grew up in Tennessee and now lives in Birmingham, Alabama, or Tuscaloosa. He might live in Tuscaloosa, but this guy is speaking, it almost sounds like a dialect from a hill people that many chromosomes all jammed together.
Well, I was thinking about that. Or is it like a Cajun thing going on because he is an LSU fan?
Okay, so he is an LSU fan, so I would think it's Cajun, but my whole thing still says swamp person.
So, okay, same
a lot
thing.
of shared chromosome.
I how they might be similar.
And I do like the idea of a hill dialect better because that we could explore because the swamp dialect is a real thing already.
Yeah, but I bet you there's different variations of the swamp dialect. Just like if you go in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, they have like their own language because they're just removed from everyone and their only gene pool is each other.
Anyone in the Lower Peninsula, you know what they called us? Trolls, because we live down below.
Oh, well. See. So everyone else on the planet besides those maniacs.
Yeah.
How many grisly murders a year in the Upper Peninsula? A lot.
Huh? Brian Kelly need to get out.
I like how he asks himself, huh? Listen how this guy breaks it down. He gets in there and he goes, watch this.
Huh? Brian Kelly didn't tell you that, huh, Paul Feinbaum, you got fired, huh? Huh?
Yeah. Huh? What'd I just say?
Paul Feinbaum.
Tell me what I just said, huh? I can't understand myself.
He tell you got fired? He didn't tell you got fired.
You remember when a teacher talked in Peanuts? That's my brain. Womp, 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 womp. Remember when Charlie Brown got mad and Charles Schultz would just make a thought balloon with a wicked black scratches? This was going in my brain. Have you ever ate a game of Boggle and then crapped it out? It's kind of what's going on with my thoughts.
That's what I ate.
That's what happened.
You got fired.
Brian Kelly need to get out of that. He need to resign. He needs to go. He need to go before we play Oklahoma. He needs to get out of that. Last game of the season, he needs to go. Hey, that bull.
Hey.
Someone else just stepped up next to me. Who that?
Hey, you listen to me.
Go. Hey. Fire, huh? What you think?
Play For Those Reds Rock and then stop it before it goes to.
Hey.
All right.
That bull crap. Paul Bonbon, what I seen, I ran everybody from my house, Paul Bonbon.
Oh, no, it goes so far as to say that.
Paul Bonbon, you living me, Paul Bonbon.
I mean, how long you've been a water boy for so long? Don't you know that you'd be a defensive star?
That's exactly what it sounds
That
like.
bull crap.
Oh, what are we eating right now, sir? I mean, we sat down. I've never seen this dish before.
That bull crap.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you prepared it for us.
I bought crabs. I did.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Wow.
Well, listen, we've all made that mistake. Just shave your pubes.
No, you bought it.
Yeah, it's a prostitute gave him crabs.
Oh,
That's southern. That's Bayou from getting a prostitute that has crabs.
Do you hear this clicking, by the way, on his line every 10 or 15
that's-
seconds? That's
that's-
from the institutional.
Yeah, that's
clicking.
that's-
Unless you know this call is being recorded.
That's the nut house making sure that he doesn't threaten anyone.
Hey.
Believe me, I know that clicking noise. I've been there.
I bought crabs. I did oysters on the grill. And halftime, I told everybody they got to leave. What you think?
Yeah, it's the genius of Feinbaum, dude. In non-sarcasm, that's the genius of Feinbaum. Just let him go.
Let him go.
Let him go.
I told everybody they got to leave. What you think?
Well, I think it was embarrassing. I don't think Brian Kelly ought to be fired over it, but
Why not?
I certainly.
Why not? Hey, the defense. It ain't the defense. Now, the man first year on the defense. He don't have the players. The man don't have the player, Paul.
I mean, I got 5% in the warehouse on file just once. Brian Kelly's lost twice.
Hey.
Paul,
Huh?
I hit all these pornos in the woods.
What you think? The defensive coordinator, he don't have
Dwayne,
the players to
this
put there.
great defensive coordinator got his pants pulled down against Texas A&M, and the very same thing happened Saturday night. I would say he's responsible for some of it.
Hey, he's the highest paid man, huh? He ain't the highest paid
He's only
defensive
making $2
coordinator in the
million a
nation.
year. That was a good investment.
Oh, my goodness. Someone just put on 227. All right, I understand. Jack Hay is very funny.
Okay, so Dwayne, let me. Okay, Dwayne. Hey, Dwayne. So you want to fire Brian Kelly? You got me a candidate I can recommend?
Yeah, Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer.
Why not?
Why?
Why not Urban Meyer?
Did you
Who
see
else
Urban
did you
Meyer's
have?
12 games as the Jacksonville Jaguars coach?
Well, obviously not. No. That's on Sundays.
You need TVs for that also.
Huh?
Huh?
Yeah, hey, who else about to get run out of NFL? Name that coach about to get run out of NFL.
There's I can give you about 10 coaches that are about to be running. Nobody more than Mike McCarthy, though.
Yeah, he about to get. Yeah, he about. Yeah.
Yeah, he about to get up there. That's him looking into sell me.
Hey. Yeah, he about to get. Yeah, he about. Yeah.
Yeah. That's not even about the phone call. That's just he about to get up there.
What you think?
Well, I just think it's wrong.
Huh? And for Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, he about to get run out of there. Yeah.
Brian Daboll will be right behind him.
Yeah, huh? Yeah. Hey. But yeah, what do you think?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey.
Hey.
What you think? Who you think we get rid of Brian
First
Kelly?
of all, I don't think you're going to fire
Brian.
Brian Kelly, but I do think it's. I do think next year is important for Brian Kelly to figure out an answer to some of these problems.
What the buyout is? What the buyout is?
Oh, he's copying this from the people against. This is all from the Enron trial.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of his questions and a lot of his counterpoints.
Yeah, this is all from the Woodward and Bernstein movie. Like, sir, we're going to have to get into a meeting room. All right, look, I'm sick of being in court. Listen, there's going to be, there's just a hostile takeover. What's going on?
What the buyout is?
All right. Oh, boy, this guy's a pro. This is like Wall Street. Blue Horseshoe loves Endicott Steel.
That bull crap.
Well, I mean, we can work with you, sir. Yes, we can.
What the buyout is? What the buyout is?
He's not getting fired, Dwayne.
All right, Dwayne. Dwayne's
Mark Allen needs to get out of that. He needs to resign. Yeah, hey, I bought crabs, oysters on the grill, and halftime, I told everybody they got to leave. Hey!
Hey! All right, very good. That's good. That's a good one. Dwayne's a star. All right, you don't get an LSU fan every day, by the way.
It's true. It's true.
Listen, Andrew Callahan's here. We can devote all hour to the Patriots and football with him today. You won't have to sit here awkwardly interrupting my flow. Today will be all about him. We'll let him talk. So we'll have that for you in just a moment.
Fired, huh? What you think?
to Toucher and Hardy, the Sports Hub.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy, and Andrew Callahan is the Patriots reporter and columnist for the Boston Herald. Andrew is brought to you by Deanne Van Lines, moving your home or business and need recommendation from someone. How about it? Almost the entire staff here at the Sports Hub and the Sports Hub itself. Yes, they moved the station too. That's DNVanlines.com. It's getting to the point where I think they've moved just about everyone. They've moved me, certainly. And they kept it on the DL when they first did it, even though I said, what's the point? Andrew joins us in studio. Know that we're brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. And also that you can watch Andrew on YouTube, on our show. If you search 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. Did you see that Jay Glazer had to put something out defending Michael Strahan because a guy on Newsmax went after Michael Strahan because they were doing the Fox pregame show in honor of Veterans Day. They were doing it on a aircraft carrier or something of that nature, like a military vessel. And they were standing there, and Gronkowski and Bradshaw and whoever else had their hand on their hearts, and Strahan was sitting there with he was standing with respectfully with his, but not with his hand on his heart. So the guy from Newsmax saw that it was a black guy and said, oh, boy, can you imagine this disrespect? And doesn't he know that these people are defending him? And as if he needed to do – first of all, you're under no obligation, military or otherwise, to put your hand on your heart. If you're in uniform, apparently, you were to salute. But if you were a civilian, you were to stand and take your hat off. But there is no putting your hand on your heart mandate. And then they showed a picture of Strahan's dad, who just happened to be in the military for 25 years and was standing in the exact same pose in full uniform as Michael Strahan was standing on that thing. And I like guys that were never served in the military calling out other people for not doing something right. If you are such a patriot and so concerned with the military, enlist in the military and fight for the country. If you being on Twitter is a pussy-ass move, just calling out people for things that they didn't even do. Like it shouldn't matter if Strahan's dad was in the army or not. Why don't you become a Navy SEAL and go kill Bin Laden? How about you do that? Oh, it's so aggravating because it's never like a vet that's been in combat that does it. You know, It's always some like dork pussy from Newsmax or something
begging for
attention.
Yes.
Just saying there. Well, no, he's like, oh, it's a black guy. He must be, and this is really what it was. He's like, it's a black guy. He must be protesting in some way. This must be some Black Lives Matter situation, which is so horrible anyway. But it's funny. Strahan's standing there, and I someone call in if I'm wrong, but I do not believe that it is like something that you're supposed to put your hand on your heart necessarily.
That's a Pledge of Allegiance move.
Yes, I think so.
To school.
Because I know in military uniform you were to salute, and then I know you were to stand and remove any hat you have. But I am under the impression, if I'm wrong, I would like to be corrected because it's my own ignorance, not anything I'm trying to be crazy about. But I don't believe you're under any. First of all, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do anyway. But second of all, I don't think it's even a thing that you're supposed to put your hand on your heart. But that was super aggravating. That Jay Glazer had to say, "Oh, Strahan's dad was in the military for 25 years," as if his Strahan's dad wasn't in the military for 25 years, he still had a lot of explaining to do. Say you had to put your hand on your heart, and he forgot.
He was standing there. He didn't walk off.
He's
set
broadcasting from an aircraft carrier. Like, what more do you want the guy to do? It's not like he said, like, what do you think? He went on the aircraft carrier, was on it for 5 hours, talking to everyone and doing all this stuff, and then just decided to go F you, like when everyone put their hand on your hearts? And I don't even know what was going on when they put their hands on their hearts.
I think you put it best. I think you should go kill Bin Laden again. That's what you need to do.
That's a tough ask. I mean, once he's already been killed.
The equivalent of Bin Laden.
Well, can we also backtrack, because Strahan's raised tens of thousands of dollars for veterans over his career. It's not like, oh, my dad was in the military, I get a pass.
I know,
He grew
but
up in Army bases.
it just is aggravating that you even have to bring that up to defend
1,000,000%.
someone. It just is so, because everyone's relatives were in the military. There was a draft. I mean, like my dad was in World War II. My grandfather was in World War II. Oh yeah, I mean they all were. I mean, you went in the military if you were that age. If you were the age of our grandparents, you were in the of course you were in the military. Everyone served in the military. It's how this nation's still a nation. Nick is going to clarify, then we'll get right down to football. I promised we would get to football, and I completely lied. But this is about a football broadcast.
Football adjacent.
Yes. Nick, go ahead.
Freddie T, so when you're in uniform, you got to stand at the position of attention and salute. Pretty standard for veterans. You'll find they'll remove their hats when they're not in uniform and more or less still stand at the position of attention. But when you're in uniform, at attention, saluting. You were right.
Okay, but what about the hand on the heart thing? Is that like a necessary thing? Is that what you're expected to do? Yes, I figured.
No,
Thank you.
no, you are not.
Thank you. So the guy's even a dumbass. The guy from Newsmax is a dumbass.
I can't believe that's true.
Ugh. You go kill a bunch of bad guys then. Go get your leg blown off in the service if you're such a hero. You're a big tough guy, but calling people out on Twitter. What that's just like serving. I mean, it really is. It's just like being a special forces guy, looking at the internet and yelling at people. All right, anyway. Andrew Callahan, big win. Again, I think it was a big win for the Patriots. A couple reasons. Mayo was the better coach. Do you agree?
Yep.
Okay. May was the better quarterback in the two quarterbacks.
That was easy. Yeah.
And so I contend, if you're a Patriot fan, what happened on Sunday in terms of result and situation was kind of about as good as you could have hoped. What is your thoughts?
Yeah, I wrote after the game that I go, oh, this was something new, right? Like we at this point in the season know the contenders, the pretenders, and everybody else. Patriots obviously are in the category of everybody else. But what we didn't know about them is, can you just beat a better team? Say what you will about the Bears right now, just straight up. Can I look you in the eye? Can I wrestle you to the ground and choke you out? And that's what they did. This was not like a week one win. Anything kind of happens. It's the least selling game of the season. It wasn't, a rival's coming in and we'll win last second like they beat the Jets. No, this was, we're going to beat you by 16. We're going to control the game for the entire game. And I didn't know that they could do that. They were tougher. They were smarter. That touchdown they scored was a game-planned effort that they made happen. And they were better coached across the board. That's something 2 weeks ago you would never said about the Patriots.
So it was coaching in both the game plan and I think in execution in a lot of areas where you could see a couple of points during that game. Are they gonna run this play here, or are they gonna call timeout, or are they gonna manage the clock properly? Everything seemed to be done pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, you go to the player side, right, when they scored just before the half. The small details, like Kayshon Boutte not only making that 23-yard grab over the middle, pinpoint throw, unbelievable play. What happened next was just as important because, okay, you get down there. The clock is ticking. Right. There's like 11 seconds. He turns around, is wheeling around looking like his mom he had lost as a kid in the grocery store. Instead, he's looking for the referee, being, I need to hand you the ball because this is how we get back to the line and get set. Not only do they snap the ball with 1 second left, you look at the Bears. They only had 10 guys on the field on the right side of the line of scrimmage. There was one dude hauling ass 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage. No, wait for me. Yeah. And then they got an extra 5 yards because they were better. They obviously were quicker. And Drake May said, we had practiced that exact play against the concept they got from the Bears. And then after that, had the mindfulness and the awareness to go, okay, what happens next? We need to beat the clock. And they did.
The question is this an evolution up until last thing? Everything finally came together, or did the clouds just suddenly part and the sun came down on them for this 1 week?
Yeah, it's a good question because that sun shining down was just how bad the Bears are. Like, we can't totally skip over that the Bears suck, whatever was said 2-6 yesterday, I'm sure. But the point is that, you can only play the team across from you. And not only did they beat them badly. They had better plans. They had better play. So I can't promise anything that happens starting this Sunday, though the Rams certainly didn't look any kind of good last night against Miami. I just think 2 of the last 3 weeks, not only have you won, but you've been the better coach team. Again, that's something 4 weeks ago, came off that Jacksonville loss. You're going, the season's lost. It's over. No. This is a whole new season right now.
So Mayo is getting better as the season goes along.
Yes, I think so. Yeah. You see it at the end of clock in the first half, the management, the timeouts. I mean, granted, he was starting from a pretty low point where week 2 I'm writing, ooh, you already got outcoached by the Seahawks, and they're telling us about it. But now he's better. So is May. So is the defense. So is pretty much everybody.
May has gotten better, and this was one of the things we were looking at in that Chicago game, and one of the conversations leading up to it at this point. Would you rather have Drake May or Caleb Williams? May has gotten better. He's improved. There hasn't been any false starts committed by him. How do you think he was specifically in this game against Chicago?
I think he was okay. I don't want to call it his worst game because I don't think it was, but it was closer to that than his best game. And you had the flash plays, right? That 28-yarder corner route to Austin Hooper, their 4th play on offense. You're like, oh, my God, that play to Booty I already referenced. You also had a couple of plays where I write today in my film review, I felt like he was testing his limits. Like, how much can I get away with? This is my 5th start. I'm incredibly talented. He had this deep incompletion to Kayshon Boutte, rolling left. Okay, throws back across his body to the right, which is all arm, and it's a little underthrown. And it's like, okay, I think I can make this, but I don't know yet. And same with the interception. He said he was trying to throw the ball away, and I think it was one of those, I bet I can fit it in here. And he's figuring that out.
Well, I may have been that first long completion to Hooper that you just mentioned. I think Zoe said yesterday when he threw it, he's like, God, kid, what are you doing? It's not there. And I'm like, okay, it was there, but if you could say what you would want from him at this stage and what you don't want from him, there's probably some value in seeing, what he can do. But if you're just grading the performance in terms of, in a vacuum, not looking at it as a trial experiment, that might be a throw that you wouldn't want him to make until he's certain he knows he can do it.
Yeah, which you don't know until you find out, right? Zeph around and find out. Sometimes he did. Sometimes he had a pick dropped in the end zone in the 4th quarter. Like, if you're looking for a grade of this game, I'd say like C+.
Okay.
And that even accounts for kind of a rookie scale. I mean, I'm looking at the numbers here right in front of me. 15 to 25, 184 yards, a touchdown and a pick. I had him risking a turnover almost on about 10%, and Pro Football Focus had this too, almost 10% of his dropbacks. You're not getting away with that against better defenses. Like, they're going to hold on to that pick. They're going to make you fumble. They're going to hold on to other picks.
Yeah, and, the first couple years of his career, he's going to have games like that, and you'll get away with some and you won't get away with others. But the point is that I've seen a lot of rookie quarterbacks be way, way worse than this.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
And so, like, Drake May's not going to be a bust. Like, that's pretty much guaranteed. Now, is he going to be like a top 15 quarterback? Who knows? Is he going to be a top quarterback? Who knows? But it doesn't look like it, because it looks like the moment's not too big for him being an NFL quarterback. Right. He's never been in a really big game. But no moment's not too big for him. He's certainly got the physical skills. I mean, they talked about, what do you make of the whole speech thing during the week and all that stuff? Is that kind of like that seemed like a little forced, like that whole narrative?
It wasn't forced, but I think, like a lot of things after wins, we blow them a little bit more out of proportion because it makes for a good story. Now, the quotes coming out of the locker room that I heard and other reporters got that I did not were from players who were actually blown away, very impressed. How is this kid 22 not only taking control of the room at the appropriate time, but I want to follow him now. Like, this is slowly becoming Drake May's team. I think that's important.
Oh, it's huge.
And Gerard Mayo said after the game, hey, first you have to walk the walk, then you get to talk the talk and bring people along with you. That's exactly what Drake May's done. Like, forget about, the media made too much big of a difference about the speech. It happened. They won. He's getting better. His teammates are bought in. That matters more to me than any of the results of the rest of the game, provided that he maintains that buy-in in his play.
And that's what I was going to say. First of all, I didn't think I was just saying, I wonder if that was like just a narrative the team put out there. Like, hey, look, he's also making these speeches. It wasn't even so much about the media. But no, I don't think the game on Sunday, if they lose that game, is any kind of indictment on May or on the coaching staff. I mean, you're just not going to be as good a coach as Sean McVay. In my opinion, your first year as a coach in the NFL with that talent on your team. Like, I just don't think that. I mean, I just happen to think McVay is a very good coach.
He is,
and I just think he's a better coach than Gerard Mayo right now. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
No.
And that can, and I think he'll be able to confuse May, and I think they might be able to confuse some things. All right. Andrew Callahan's here. We will play two stats and a lie, which everyone loves, and we all failed last week. That's coming up. Also, we can get more into the Patriots, who, if I'm a Patriots fan, I'm very excited. It must be nice. It must be nice to land on your feet after they got rid of the dead weight of Belichick. It must be nice to land on your feet a little bit.
Did you see his analysis, by the way, on McAfee?
Yeah, he's a piece of garbage.
Oh,
I mean, I can see piling on when things are going bad, but when things are going good, I mean, then it's obvious.
Yeah.
See, the thing was, if he was like, I hate the Patriots, and here's why, and went off, then I'd be like, you're the man.
Great, but he's doing everything he can to say that without saying it, which is
kind of like
just be honest.
A chicken. Exactly, John. It's a chicken bleep move. If you want to crap on him all the time.
Don't
That'd
send
be great.
Michael Lombardi out. Don't send all your sycophants out to kind of gang up on Mayo in the organization. Say it, get it out there, and move on.
Lombardi might as well be dressed as a gimp. And I'm not kidding.
But for Bill, especially since his mantra for years was every team is good. Every team's got, something going for them. It's their punter, it's
Johnny
their special
Hecker.
teams.
Still in the league.
There's everything. And so for him to not only not give any credit to the Patriots, but then as a way to avoid giving them credit, say another team is bad. I've never heard him say another team was bad.
Well, now he's a big-time analyst with his horribleness on television. All right, we'll be back, but he can take a damn picture as a fisherman, and he'll dress up in anything the girls tell him to.
I got to apologize to Adam. I knew what I was doing there, poking Fred about Bill. That's an extra 2 minutes off a commercial.
That is the conversation we're having in this room.
Sorry,
What
guys.
would you like to see Jordan dress Bill up as next?
After the break.
All right, very good.
Oh, check him out, huh?
Learning and growing.
Look at that.
Great.
I see a Wizard of Oz theme.
Woo!
Yeah. And you just dress him with the Tin Man, like with the original Buddy Epson
Didn't
lead
work.
paint.
Didn't take.
I'm being funny. All right, we'll be back in just a
We have
moment.
fun.
All right, so we'll be
More Toucher and Hardy on the way on the Sports Hub.
All right, if your libido's low, if your workouts aren't productive, if you got brain fog and you're tired all the time, you may feel like you're
defense because the running game, when Stevenson can get it going, is, draw
Guy
some of the
picked.
coverage and the linebackers up and so forth. But, to me, the bigger thing is just where the Bears are.
Yeah, it is.
Of course it is.
Yeah, the guy I picked,
It's
Stevenson.
all about
He's all the difference. Stevenson is all the difference. He's the best running back in the NFL. He can't be stopped. All right, Pucks and Paddles. Today's the last day you can bid to play with the players, Hardy, Ryan Johnson, and me. Here's how you do it. And listen to me, please, because it's very confusing. But it's not if you do it like this. Text Paddles to 76278. And then what that will do is take you to a page where there's all the bidding. There's some players that have no bids. Bidding starts at $400. Now you're like, I don't know anything about this player. It doesn't matter. The whole idea is all the tables are together. You'll be around the players. You'll be rubbing elbows with them. They'll sign your stuff. They'll take pictures with you. If you're a Bruins fan, this is a really great experience. It all benefits the Special Olympics of Massachusetts. So I'm sure you can write it off and everything of that nature. Plus, it's a good cause. But there's guys who don't have bids. So you can get into this thing for $400. That's the deal. And one half of the Morning Brew podcast is only $500 right now, Andrew Raycroft.
And there's another player that he doesn't have any bids right now, but I think it's because he had a hand injury. He cut himself. What's his name? Parker
Witherspoon.
No, with a knife.
Got me again. Got me again. He got me that a couple of weeks ago at that.
I got him so bad.
You did.
Wow.
Boom.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think cutting self-harm is funny.
What? With a knife, Wallach.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
Real funny.
I got it.
Oh, boy.
I'm just ashamed that I fell
the
for
only
it.
way I can
It was a kitchen accident, Fred. It wasn't a self-mutilation.
No, but I just did sympathy for people that are dealing with that in their lives.
Jesus.
Hachi-machi. So anyway, paddles to 76278. Text paddles to 76278.
So good.
All right. Andrew Callahan's here, and he is of the Boston Herald and stepping on great pulls like Buddy Ebsen's lead paint as his role as the original Tin Man in Wizard of Oz. But we'll just let that go. Why did Kendrick Bourne not play?
So there are a couple things going on. I had gotten a tip on Saturday that he might not play, reached out, couldn't get it confirmed. All right, we'll see what happens on Sunday. And my understanding is that it was partly related to his performance, and obviously they're pushed to play all of their young receivers, which is not just Jalen Polk and Javon Baker. It's Demario Douglas and Kayshon Boutte, who we know obviously are in their second year. So that leaves really one spot left for him and KJ Osborne. Well, Osborne sucks. Why are you going to play him? What I would say is this. We know, in addition to being young, this receiver room is fairly immature. My sense is, not reporting, is that Osborne is someone they tried to trade, said, hey, we tried to do it, couldn't work, no one wanted to buy you, we need to keep you here. And Alex Van Pelt's on the record saying, we appreciate how he comes in day to day. He's the most professional guy in that room, okay? So when he doesn't play at Tennessee, hardly plays a couple weeks before, I think this was kind of a bone to throw at him. Because Bourne's performance at Tennessee, he had 4 catches. Twice ran short of the sticks, one of which forced them to punt. The week before, he had 2 drops. So the difference is not as big as the stats would show you between him and Osborne. And they say, okay, we've got 1 spot. There are 2 of you. Everyone else is going to play.
Well,
this is what we're going to do this week. Next week, prove us wrong, and we'll see what you have in practice.
And then Osborne runs out of bounds and comes back in and nullifies the touchdown.
Yeah,
So,
he was my bum.
yes, he was yesterday. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm thinking maybe KJ didn't exactly cement his roster spot.
Can I ask you a question? What did you make of Chicago's coaching? And again, I praise the Patriots. I can't praise them enough. It's the most this season I think I've ever praised them. But why did they not just give DeAndre Swift the ball? Why did he only get 16 carries? If you were Chicago, wouldn't you just ran? I would have just ran it. That's all I would have done.
So we had a long of 9 yards and averaged 3.7 yards a carry.
Right.
So there were some good runs in there.
Yes.
The ones that I saw early on where Chicago would motion their tight end over and snap it basically upon his arrival, which creates an extra gap that the defense has to account for. And the way you often do that is you shift or you motion over by yourselves. Some of the longer Chicago runs, the Patriots just didn't move. So there was an extra gap someone had to block. If anyone blew it or couldn't overcome that, that's how Swift got those long runs. When they started to shift and kind of quick snap afterward in the second half, the Patriots were adjusting defensively. That's
Okay.
what I saw. So it wasn't a personnel issue for the Patriots because the Bears' offensive line makes the Patriots' offensive line look like they're all going to the Pro Bowl. Like that is
it's
a
that
bad line. And if you want to know why Swift wasn't having more success, the line is it.
Okay, and just real quick, because there were so many people that said you don't take a quarterback in the draft, you take a receiver. Rome Odunze, when you watched film on him, how does he look, the rookie?
He looks fine. He's much more of a great contested catch player. He's got a very mature game, a little bit more explosive. Like everything we were talking about, Jalen Polk, after he gets drafted here, right? He can play inside and out, go downfield. It's just Odunze's better at those things, and he's a bit more explosive. But the Patriots didn't shadow him or DJ Moore in this game. They were like, we can cover you both with whomever we have, because Chris Gonzalez stuck to one side. He parked himself in the boundary, and they said, okay, if we're going to double someone, it'll be DJ Moore, which he only did twice. And Jonathan Jones and Marcus Jones, if you got Odunze, if you got more, that's fine.
I wanted to ask about that. The theory in the secondary seems to be more aggressive, less zone, a lot more man.
A lot more man.
Yeah.
Why? Why a lot more man, and why do this now? Is it just specific to Chicago,
Or
is
strength of the team? Why is it? Do they consider this a strength?
That's what it is. And you go back to their win against the Jets. That was another game where you go, hey, Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson, just like Odunze and DJ Moore, they're better than what you have at corner. The Patriots go, watch us. Like these two games against the Jets and against the Bears were their highest rate of man-to-man coverage. And the Patriots on Sunday basically lived in one defense, and they had a little wrinkles here and there. But that was it. This was, all right, man up, let's see what you got. And they won over and over again. So Jonathan Jones played a little bit of safety. Marcus Jones is still 5'8", will be for the rest of his life. But that dude can cover. And they played really well, granted, against a bad offense and bad design. But they not only held their own, I would say dominated a more talented receiving core, and that's the second time in 3 weeks.
Now, is that Mayo and the rest of the staff come to terms with what they have to work with, or were they trying to get a little too cute in previous games because of their defensive acumen? They said, we can try different things here.
No, I think they always want to be a man defense, but you're also finding out, just like Drake May, we talked about last segment, what you can get away with, right? What are we good at? Everyone is finding out who they are, your strengths and weaknesses for the most part, unless you're a contender, through like week 6 or 7. So then you'll notice week 8 against the Jets, that's when they go, okay, this is who we are, this is how we have to play, and got back to that defensively where Rodgers, too, also was always going to pick on matchups. So they're like, we'll just line up, know where he wants to go, and
how did they know where he wanted to go? He's standing back there, genius, playing 3D chess.
4D.
I'm sorry.
They
I don't care
well,
for
he
him.
sees into other he sees into other dimensions,
And then he
that's-
shakes his head after plays, which I love.
Yeah,
Like, oh, that was someone else's fault. And meanwhile, Mike Williams goes to Pittsburgh, scores a touchdown, and writes a nice red line.
I was going to say, do you think Mike Williams found the red line in Pittsburgh?
Well, he put it hashtag red line.
He did?
In a picture on Instagram.
You didn't see that?
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was
I'm sorry. Anytime you bring up Aaron Rodgers for the rest of my life, is anyone else starting to think that you might like the mortality is coming into the teams that you root for? I'm honestly thinking like I got to wait another year, and I'll be 50 the next time the Jets play a meaningful football game.
You obsess on this more than anyone around our age, anyone else that I know. It's a little early to be thinking that way.
That's how dire it is, though. You think about your own mortality and dying as a result of watching the Jets.
If they weren't going to win this year,
ask him about his son. Ask him about watching games with his son.
So my son has become a big Jet fan.
I didn't really.
I asked you, I think a couple weeks ago, if you.
My son has become a big Jet fan, and he's only in the house for 2 more seasons.
So he really wants to beat it into him before he leaves.
He wants to watch football games with his son and have those football games be wins by the team that they both root for.
I'm silly in that way.
It's not too late.
It's
you know what
too
that
late.
this should be is like when you watch the Jets and when you have the commercials in between where it lists side effects for 80% of the commercials.
Oh, yes.
Those same side effects should be watching this team will make you consider your own mortality. These are the side effects of watching
you
the
act
Jets.
like I'm unique, but Joe Beningo has brought that up many times, and there's a whole episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm based on that one of Larry's friends dies because he's a Jet fan. I mean, I'm not alone in this. You're spoiled with your Lions fandom.
Yeah. I've been so spoiled for years.
Your lifetime of success with
But
the Lions.
how old was the guy on Curb Your Enthusiasm who died? And Joe Beningo is 71. So he's more than 20 years older.
But Nico's been saying this for 30 years. I don't know. Listen, I'm
You
in
never
tip-top
know,
shape.
Fred. As a young Red Sox fan, I thought this was going to happen to me. I'd die without seeing a championship.
The Red Sox are ridiculous. They made the World Series and they were a good team on several occasions. They just didn't win in the playoffs. This is an example of just not making the playoffs and never having an opportunity.
Well, I'll ask you again, which is worse, getting to the edge and losing in
Getting to
horrendous
the
fashion?
no.
or never
Getting to
there?
the edge and losing is great. They gave you, especially if you think about it, it gave you all those moments leading up to it that were fun. That's what it's all about. What sucks is the season ending before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and I firmly believe this last year, and depending on how things shake out, if the Lions get close and if they make the Super Bowl,
if they get to the edge,
I don't even care if they win. Last year, I didn't even care if they won because I thought there was no way they could beat Kansas City. This year, if it ends up being, let's say, Kansas City, Detroit, I would desperately want them to win and would be disappointed if they didn't, but getting there would be enough. Get the Lions in a Super Bowl is so crazy that just getting there, I would be 80% happy just with that.
And it's funny that you mentioned that, John, because I have been contemplating that. And I think that if the team you like makes the championship game and loses, it's a little immature to like flip out.
Oh.
Because you got the whole season. And then that ultimately there's hope the next season, too.
But if it happens multiple times when you get to the
It's
edge.
still a little childish.
I'm sorry.
It's still
it
a little
sucks.
childish because the worst thing that can happen is that we're seeing it with the Red Sox. The worst thing you can be is just you're never a factor because then you just don't even get the enjoyment of the season.
Right.
So if you got that enjoyment of the season, and you know how it is when like the Lions are 8-1, when that's happening. Everyone's talking about him, and every time you turn on the TV or the radio, it's Lions, Lions, Lions. You get that all year, and it's all positive stuff. And if they lose the Super Bowl, big deal. You don't get anything if they win, but you got that whole year of good feeling. But that's been robbed from me. All right, listen. 2 stats and a lie is something that Andrew Callahan came up with and that everyone loves. Andrew Callahan created a bit that everyone loves.
This is the week.
And John's horrible.
John's
at
got
it.
one win.
Even though he's supposed to be some kind of sports expert.
Hey, I'm lined up for the #1 pick in the draft next year. Here we go.
By the way, I'm dominating in fantasy as well. This is all exciting. What a year for me. All right, we'll be back. Andrew Callahan has 2 stats and a lie. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headline.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Andrew Callahan from the Boston Herald has 2 football-related statistics, or 3 football-related statistics that he will give us, and then we will have to guess which one is the lie. Andrew, what are the records so far for the 3 of us, if you would be so kind?
It's a good question. I do believe I have these updated, and here they are. Fred, you're 4-4. Hardy is 3-6. Wallach, 1-8.
Those sound accurate.
Wow.
Not good.
Those sound accurate.
So overall, I am 18-8.
You're doing a good job. There's no question about it. The record speaks for itself, but there is an opening.
The game is rigged, though. It's set up to favor the house.
There is
Andrew being the house.
There is yeah. I
But
mean,
you know
that's
what?
the
I'm
VIG is.
overperforming the house because my winning percentage is above 66. So theoretically, I mean, 2 of you are living up. You're right on the money, 33% at 3-6. You're at 500. Wallach is dragging the team down.
Yeah, Wallach's paying your mortgage.
Wallach's the guy over there, hitting his 16 against the dealer's 5, playing third base at the blackjack table.
He's
He's
the guy
throwing everything off.
He's the guy that Tony's crew kills in The Sopranos. But there is another opening.
Oh, of course there is.
I mean,
Let's do this. It takes 2 steps from the other night. And one might see you can get it right. It takes 2 steps from the other night. And one might see you can get it right.
in fairness, Nick had never heard that song before. Every time that song comes on, I can't plug my ears fast enough now.
But bad is good.
Yeah. All right, Andrew, what are the stats for today?
Okay, number 1. Sunday was the Patriots' first win by 2 scores since the 2022 season. Sunday was the Patriots' first win by 2 scores since the 2022 season. Number 2, since making his first start, Drake May leads all NFL quarterbacks in rushing. Since making his first start, Drake May leads all NFL quarterbacks in rushing. Number 3, the Patriots' 9 sacks on Sunday are more than Matt Judon and the Falcons have all season. The
All right.
Patriots' 9 sacks
Wow.
on Sunday
Okay.
are more than Matt Judon and the Falcons have all season.
Just real quick, because I'm playing the audience here, because I don't write them down for this reason. What was number 1 again?
Sunday was the Patriots' first win by 2 scores since the 2022 season.
Okay.
All right, I went first last time. I'll go first again. I lost last time, and maybe it was because I went first. I'm so good at this, I'd like to try this
Pressure's not on you, Fred. It's on John.
Well, John's not going to get this right, let's be honest.
Oddly enough, I didn't feel no pressure at all for that reason.
Okay, the Drake May rushing stat, I can't... All right, so 3 was what? Just real quick, 3 was what?
The Patriots' 9 sacks on Sunday are more than
Matt
Judon and the Falcons have all season.
Okay,
so
the Falcons
have 8 or fewer is what I'm contending.
All right, let me talk you through this. So the Falcons got Judon because their pass rush sucked, and that was a big knock on getting the Penix pick. And Judon's not been good since he's with the Falcons. I'm saying that's true. And now I'm torn between the first and the second one. But I don't think Drake May ran for a lot of yards last week. But did Lamar Jackson run for a lot of yards in the last game? I mean, Rodgers has at least got 1 or -5. I'm going to say number 2 is the lie.
Okay. What you said about Matt Judon and the Falcons, right, we all know that. Got there, he hadn't been good, hadn't been a sack machine. Aha! That's where he's trying to trip us up. That's why that one is the lie. They might have 10 sacks down there.
No, that's not. He's not trying to trip us up. He's trying to make the point that even though they traded Judon, their pass rush is better than the Falcons.
John, what am I trying to do?
I'm really not sure what you're trying to do, Andrew.
Of course he's not.
Number 3 is the lie.
All right, you say number 3 is the lie. I think number 3 is the truth. A first blush, I thought number 1 was the lie, because I'm sure there has to be a game in which they won by 2 scores. But honestly, Fred, and we want to leave one open.
No, you don't have to. We can play this up.
Okay. All right. Honestly, the first thing I thought of was number 2 is the lie. May leads all NFL quarterbacks.
I know it
in
seems
rushing.
ridiculous, which is why it's
Yeah, no,
probably true.
I'm going to go with Fred here. I think it's number 2, and 2 is the lie. 1 and 3 are truth.
So no one picked number 1.
That's
Oh,
correct.
No. Oh no! Oh no!
Please no.
Well, that was smart. Number 3 was the lie. Big win for Hardy.
That's so big.
I mean, it was a logical thing. We fought each other's logic.
That's right. So tell me, what do they have? 10?
Well, let's update the standings first. Fred 4 and 5. Hardy 4 and 6.
Oh, right.
Wallach
there.
1 and 9.
Yeah.
And that puts me at 20 and 9 on the season. Again, about how I should be doing. 20 and 10, because Fred missed 1 week when I was here, is exactly where I should be based on 2 stats and live, but I'm just ahead. So, number 1, Sunday was the Patriots' first win by 2 scores since the 2022 season. They had 4 wins last year. Okay, 15-10 versus the Jets, 25-22 over the Bills. They beat the Steelers 21-18, and then a walk-off game-winning field goal at Denver. Earlier this year, they beat the Bengals.
Yep.
Let me pull it up. Oh boy, did I blow this? I think it might have
Bengals
been-
by 6, Jets by 3, and then the Bears yesterday.
Okay, let me check that. And so,
Get to the part where I
Bengals
was right.
16-10.
16-10. Okay, good.
Yes.
Then the Jets, as you said, 1-score game, 25-22. So this is their third one. They won by 13. First since the 2022 season. Number 2, this surprised me. Since making his first start in Week 6, Drake May has 197 rushing yards on 19 attempts. Lamar Jackson has 174 yards on 37 attempts.
Oh.
Mind you, Drake May also missed most of that Jets game. So despite that, still leading the league in rushing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
All
the
right.
Patriots, 9 sacks on Sunday, tie the Falcons' season total. They also have 9, despite adding Matt Judon at the beginning of the season.
So I should get a half point.
Nope.
Nope.
No, I should.
No.
I'll tell you why I should. Because I knew what he was doing there, and I was correct in my logic. And since they have the same, that's a half point.
It's not a half point.
Nope,
I will
more
take
than.
I will take the win.
Andrew has 2 stats, but he has just 1 lie. Andrew has 2 stats, but he has just 1 lie.
That's the tough harmony part, and Nick nailed it.
Yeah, Nick is.
This is low-key my favorite one.
I was just going to say that,
I'm
too. I
glad-
like
I'm
this
glad
one a lot
it's low
better.
key.
Hey, would you believe that there's one team in NFL history that has 9 or fewer sacks on the entire season? Whole season. 1952 Chicago Cardinals. Only 9 sacks in 14 games. So the Patriots matched that in Chicago, sticking it to the 1952
Look at that.
Chicago
See how it all
Cardinals.
comes full circle?
All right. Well, there you go. Andrew Callahan, everyone loves him. You can read him in the Herald and see him on television and everything else. Thank you for the time, sir. As everyone enjoys the win that the New England Patriots gave you on Sunday.
And everyone enjoys the win that Hardy just got in 2 stats, 1 lie.
Big win for Hardy.
Yeah.
Big win.
I'm still
He could be 500
statistically
next week.
I'm still statistically better. No, he can't.
4 and 5.
He's
Oh,
4 and
4 and
6.
6. You're right. You're right.
I could be 500 next week.
Did you write that down? The standings?
No,
I
no,
wrote
those
them down
remember.
this time just so we'll.
Those I remember.
Well, you won't have to fiddle F around looking for the update. And I got it right here.
All right. We'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
All right, the NBA is back, and FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, wants you to catch all the action. Right now, FanDuel is giving everyone 3 months of NBA League Pass. All you have to do to catch every tip-off and buzzer beater is to place any $5 bet on the NBA.
Your home of the pass. 98.5 The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
Bruins and Celtics will both be back at work tonight after taking last night off. The Bruins will try to recover from a bad home loss to Ottawa when they play in St. Louis against the Blues. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 7:30 and the face-off at 8 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Matt Poitras sent down to Providence yesterday. Celtics open up NBA Cup pool play against Atlanta at TD Garden tonight. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 6:30 and the tip-off at 7 over on 105.7 WROR. Jason Tatum is questionable with a sprained left ankle. Al Horford is questionable with a sprained big toe. The Hawks, meanwhile, will be without Top Gun Trae Young. He is dealing with Achilles tendonitis. The Celtics will host Cleveland a week from tonight. Cavaliers are now 12-0 after winning in Chicago last night, 119-113. Patriots players will be back at practice tomorrow. They'll host the Rams in Foxborough Sunday. LA will come to town with a record of 4-5 after they come up short at home to Miami last night, 23-15. And the New York Post is reporting the Red Sox are seen as legit players along with a lot of other teams in the bidding for top free agent Juan Soto. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by John Sewer and Drain Cleaning. 24-hour on-call service for your clog drain emergencies. Go to johnsewer.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
If you've got the app, you've got Toucher and Hardy to wake you up no matter where you are.
Or who may or may not have been to jail.
Get the app, the 98.5 The Sports Hub app.
Is elongating.
Weekday morning.
Here goes Hardy.
Toucher and Hardy.
I no longer love things.
Let's go. Let's ride.
98.5.
Like, let's roll the dice.
The Sports Hub.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. You can watch us on YouTube. Search 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube, and you can watch all of us do our thing. All the lights are on and everything. All right, what do we... I see something here, Fred 9 a.m. That's what it says, Fred 9 a.m. What is for Fred at 9 a.m.?
We have a bit of a post-game difficulty that I guess that'd be the best way to set it up here.
Okay.
And there is audio for you here.
Okay, is it Michael Strahan, as the guy from Newsmax called out, not holding his heart while he's doing a broadcast, putting his hand over his heart while he's doing a broadcast on a actual military vessel where he is chosen to spend 5 hours talking and socializing with the men and women aboard that aircraft, or that naval vessel. If you don't know, there's a guy from Newsmax. I just read Jake Glazer had to send some tweet out defending Michael Strahan, saying that his father was a 25-year military veteran, because Michael Strahan had the audacity to stand up and not cover his heart, which I am to understand is not something that you're even supposed to do necessarily. You're to, as a civilian, take your hat off and stand, and as a military personnel, if you're in uniform, to salute. That is what my understanding is.
Yeah, I always thought it was the hand over the heart part of it was optional.
But what you do is, if you just happen to be watching TV, you say, oh, the black guy's not doing what the white people are doing. So obviously this is some huge protest that he's doing. And again, my stance on that is, if you're the guy complaining on Twitter, go join the military and kill bin Laden. Do something the equivalent of killing bin Laden. Go join the military instead of being a pussy. What are you doing for the country? What you are is, that's almost false honor. Like, you're almost like you want credit for being in the military because you're calling out Michael Strahan's not putting his hand on his heart. You're doing nothing of good to anyone. You join the military. You go do something. What are you doing? Go to a shelter or something for veterans and go devote your time to that. If you're too old to join the military, go devote your Sundays, instead of watching football, you prick, to go in and helping out disabled veterans, I suggest. How about that?
Yeah.
All right.
All
This
right.
thing's only a minute long, so I felt I had to tell you.
No, it's fine. But 12, it is a post-game situation.
Yes, Darren Rizzi is the interim head coach of the New Orleans Saints.
I know what you're. Okay, I know what this is.
And okay, well,
Yeah.
then let it roll or let it rip.
It's been a lifelong goal to be an NFL head coach. Just as goofy as this is, what does this feel like for you right now? Like, how good is this feeling?
Besides the stinger, besides the stinger, my left thumb is still coming back. Besides that, it was awesome. Listen, you guys know me. I'm a pretty open guy, so this is how my day started. I get down here to the stadium, I get down here to Superdome, I go in the head coach's locker room, which I've never used before, right? So here I am early in the morning. I go to the bathroom, and this is how my day started. I clogged the toilet.
All right. What does this tell us about someone in the room? If we could make this about someone in the room. Here is an NFL head coach following his first win, coming in and saying, I clogged the toilet. He didn't have to say anything. They were just asking him what that was about. What does that tell you about someone in the room and some shots they've been taking? I think that points directly, and it's not you. It's the guy to your left. What the coach of the New Orleans Saints puts forth the information that he took the dump so big, so large that it clogged the toilet, and he's open with that.
Oh, I see.
Because Wallach made the mistake of disclosing to you that he was in physical distress one day, and then you shared it on the air.
Like, didn't even stop at a light. You the second we came back on the air, you said it.
Precious John with his diarrhea. Don't talk about that. He's got diarrhea. John's so special, Fred can't keep a secret. Meanwhile, the guy's first head coaching job, he clogs the toilet. He's out there having fun, but John can't. No one can know John has diarrhea. Okay. Fred's a villain. He can't keep a secret. Ooh, Johnny, Mr. Model, what are you, the coach of the Saints?
How did we get here?
I'm very, very sorry that I got some up in there.
What?
I'm very, very sorry that I got some up in there.
Yeah. So this
you have a plunger?
So this guy's like a man's man. He's an everyman. He's like, yeah, I'm just like you and everyone else. I clogged the toilet, which I've never done. I've never clogged the toilet with feces.
Okay.
That is an absolute fact.
Good to know.
No, I've had to deal with them that have been clogged with feces, which is very unpleasant. But I've never done it. But this guy comes in, he announces it, but our precious little Johnny can't even talk about his diarrhea.
I'm going to defend John on this.
Of course you are. This is Gang Up on Fred Day.
I myself withheld something from you today, but I did talk to John about it. And I said, I'm not going to tell Fred about this because I don't want it known.
And what did
but
I
Fred
say to
and
you?
That I was smart and you shouldn't tell him.
Correct.
And I will still not tell you.
It can't be diarrhea.
But
burn when you pee? What is it?
It is something that I was able to talk with my friend John about.
What is it?
Not you.
John, what is it?
I'm not telling you.
Is it physical?
I'm not telling you what it is. If he wants
you don't
to
have
share
to tell
it, he can share it.
You don't have to tell me what it is, but is it a physical ailment?
No, he's not going to tell you
I'm not
anything.
going to tell you anything.
Oh, all right. Well, I guess I'm the only one who shares their lives on the air. I guess
that's the conclusion we should draw from this. Yes, by all means.
It is the conclusion. I'm the one with the relationship with the audience. They feel like that, where they feel like we're friends. You two are like hiding behind these facades.
Yes, you're that friend that shares too much, and the phone rings. And you're like, oh God, what is he going to tell me now? I really don't want to hear it.
Listen, the audience, me and the audience have a special connection. I just guess I'll just be the one who has it. What's wrong with him? What's going on?
It's very rude and it's very nasty.
Is it rude and nasty?
That's disgusting.
Would you have said it if it was about you? That
I'm
you
not
can answer.
telling you anything.
Do you know Adam?
No idea.
Okay, so you can't even say this. Would you say it if it was about you?
I'm not telling you.
Oh, well, that's
Good.
just being
That's
obstinate.
good.
That's just not being a good radio host.
I'm not telling you.
This is you, not him.
I
Would you
understand
say it
that.
about yourself?
I'm not letting you draw any conclusions to what Hardy's problem might or might not be. If he wants to share it, he can share it.
I can't draw any conclusions
Based
from it.
on the subject matter of the thing that he told you the last time, I would say, based on how that was handled in that regard, he would not share this one with you either.
You got a floater or a floating testicle? What is it? Why do you not want the audience to know? Why is that? Why is it so embarrassing?
It's not even so much that. I don't want you to know.
Okay.
Because you'll obsess over it in an odd way.
Really?
Now you piqued his interest. Oh.
Is it something physical?
No, it's spiritual.
Is it a malaise?
I'm having a spiritual crisis that I didn't want to share with
that's
you.
completely
Of course
unfair.
it's physical.
Well, it could be. There's things in the world that don't revolve around your body. It could be something you'd heard about something that was going on.
Yes, I told John that I'm afraid my wife has fallen out of love with me, but I dared not share it with you because I thought you'd make fun of me for 4 hours. No, of course it's physical.
Peeping.
Is it? Does it hurt?
You know what? A little bit.
Ooh. So it's got to be something inside.
Do you have a plunger?
Here we go.
Is he suffering from diarrhea as well? Do we have two diarrhea shy people?
diarrhea.
What shall it be?
That's where police say he used the floor of the.
No, that's the wrong one.
You guys hurt me.
Used what?
I just want you to know that it hurts a little bit. That you guys have a secret that I'm not in on.
All true.
Adam, at least Adam doesn't know. Nick, do you know? Do you know what's going on with Hardy? Yeah, that's not doing me any good.
No, I
It's
don't.
no longer going on.
Oh, it's over.
Over.
Did you take something to stop it?
No.
Ooh.
So it all just had to work itself out, so to speak.
Did you take pictures? Is this an elaborate way to get the bidding up?
Hey, did you have to upload any images into your patient portal?
Yes, I have. By the way, if you get a patient portal thing, it's a scam. It's spam. It's me just trying to get pictures and descriptions of your body.
Would it be useful to a teaching hospital situation? Has anyone seen this before?
By the way, look at how proud John is. Finally, he's got something. What a beta. He won't even say anything. John, with his diarrhea, running around with his diarrhea.
You're not going to trick him into saying.
I'm not going to trick him into saying anything. I'm going to shame him into saying something. There's no trick to it at all. It's just shaming.
This is how my day started. I get down here to the stadium, I get down here to Superdome, I go in the head coach's locker room, which, I've never used before, right? So here I am early in the morning, I go to the bathroom, and this is how my day started. I clogged the toilet.
Nice laugh. Everyone laughs. They're having fun.
That's very rude, and it's very nasty.
Everyone's like, boy, do we like this guy. Well, John's instincts are like, oh, don't say it.
And I'm like, this is going to be a crappy day, pun intended. And so listen, I'm like, okay, this is not really a great start to the day.
So I called Miriam, my personal assistant, and I said, can you go break up this excrement and make it go down the toilet?
Called up my assistant and said,
Your damn toilet's clogged.
Like, hi, the toilet's clogged. I don't know which one of you is going to handle it, but he could. So we got the backup long snapper in here. And we said, I don't got gloves. You're just going to have to use your hands.
Do you have a plunger?
Here we go. And so, I'm not really feeling like a head coach of an NFL team right now. So, so I'm like,
you know what I bet it was? He was, and this is serious, that he was nervous and he had diarrhea, kind of nervous, and because he was nervous, his stomach was upsetting him, and he used too much toilet paper and clogged the toilet that way. Because there's no way that he was like constipated. He had to have butterflies, Anytime my stomach hurt when I was a kid, my mom would go sit on the toilet. Why haven't you sat on the toilet?
Oh.
Just anything that was ailing me.
Yeah.
She'd go sit on the toilet.
That's great. You have a stomach ache, and now you're going to have hemorrhoids, too. Great. Fantastic.
I've never had hemorrhoids.
That's disgusting.
Obviously, you have. Those bulbous sores coming out.
Got them right now, baby.
really? This is really how we're going to start my day? So
yeah, that's what I said to John. Really? This is what why don't you bring something to the table other than sucking at Callahan's game?
But listen, there was moments during the game. I'm so wrapped up in the.
Okay, I'll tell you.
In my routine, there was moments today where like I'm almost forgetting. I'm just going through my routine, and I'm kind of forgetting that I'm the head coach a couple times. All true.
All right. Well, this is one of the guys, by the way, that gets to work and takes a dump, which is not good anyway. In all seriousness,
A lot of people in this building do the very same thing.
A lot of people. I would say everyone that's not on this show or on another show. I mean, this is. I mean, nameless, faceless office drones are in there taking dumps the minute they get in. Long ones, too.
And I think you had a good theory. It goes back to COVID. Everybody's at home. Schedule gets thrown off. Your body gets accustomed to just going whenever it wants. And when you got to go back in the office 2 or 3 days a week,
see, I think
all bets are off.
I think it's easing into the workday and like going to the bathroom and like that's like I can play on my phone and no one's watching me and stuff like that. While to me, that would be that I'd much rather just have everyone looking at me playing with my phone at my desk than have to put myself in a bathroom. But then again, I think that bathrooms with stalls for men, more than one stall for men, is a little barbaric. I think that it's not classy. That's me. Unless it's like an arena situation, and then that would be for emergencies only. Because even at the gym, there's guys at the gym. They go to the shower, shave, whatever you want to do. But you got to go number 2.
So we've all had that friend that could just and would go anywhere. Did you have the friend? I have one friend who would go anywhere, including go out to the bar when we were in school. Thursday night, big bar night. Friday night, big bar night, and maybe be there for an hour. Oh, where's Red? You know where he is. He's taking care of business
quickly,
right there at the Riv or Rick's or Landshark. Didn't matter where it was.
Man.
He was comfortable doing it and did it a lot.
I had to take a dump one time at Hogan's Run.
Really?
Yeah, it was that bad.
Oh, boy.
It was that, or I was going to crap my
Were there
pants.
doors on the stalls? I forget. in the
No,
bathroom there.
no. And there was one urinal in one stall, and nothing separating the two of them, and there was
Tiny-ass
no
bathroom.
lock on the door.
Yeah.
And there was no lock on the door, and the door pulled open, right? So you couldn't even put your foot up against it. So and
Did it
was-
also open so you could see people out there in the bar, or was it at least down a little hallway?
there was no hallway. I mean, it wasn't like you just turn around and see, but like, yeah, like you could definitely see the guy. If you wanted to, you could see the guy going to the bathroom. And it was a situation. See, John, how I'm opening up? This is why I have a connection with the audience. But I was in there, and it was so bad. And I was like, and so I went into the bathroom and left the bathroom because I'm like, there's just no way. The station was across the street. And I'm like, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it out the door of Hogan's.
Wow, because the station is legit 50 yards from there.
Yeah, but with traffic and, like, you got to wait for cars. Like it was bad. It was a real bad thing. And I did it. But it's almost good fortune that it was so bad because it took so short amount of time. It was like I was probably in there for 20 seconds and then just got out. And then I left and went to the station to take care of everything else. To try to properly finish things off.
Yeah.
Because I'm classy.
Hardy, do you remember the Cowboy Bar on Central in downtown Albuquerque? Because they had a bathroom situation. I don't remember the name. It was next to the El Rey, but they had a bathroom situation like that too, with the stall, no door, very small. And I was there seeing Wesley Willis, the outsider musician who was
fantastic,
known for being very, very Wesley Willis.
Yeah.
And my friend Alan was having a bathroom emergency and had to go and use the open door stall. And Wesley Willis walked in the bathroom and said, "You are taking a crap." And I said, "Yes, I am."
All right. Well, listen. What's wrong with Hardy?
I forget.
Oh, Jesus, John. All right. When we come back, we'll have the email segment.
Good try, though. That was good.
Yeah. Oh, I dropped something. What's wrong with her? All right. We'll be back in just a moment.
I'm very, very sorry that I got some up in you.
No, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
All right, it is time for the award-winning email segment on Toucher and Hardy. You can email us all.
There's just an issue I'm dealing with. All right, so that Nick and I are dealing with.
Yeah, all right.
But I do want to do this. Pucks and paddles.
Oh, this is more important.
Yes, it absolutely is. All right, here's the deal. Is Pucks and Paddles, if you want to get involved, it's our big event. It's coming up on November 20th at the House of Blues, Boston. It's benefiting the Special Olympics, Massachusetts. And it's like, sure, ping pong is a part of it. But this is just an exercise to get people in the room with the Bruins and your favorite players and Hardy and I and Ryan Johnston and this and that. Wallach's going to be there. You can't bet on him, but he's going to be hanging around. So if you want to see Wallach, you'll be able to do that too. And some players don't have bids on them. So you can get in for $400. So say you're a fan of Marchand. Sure, you won't get the entire Brad Marchand experience, but I'm sure you'll take a picture with him. He'll sign something for you.
You might end up playing against him.
That's an excellent point. You could play against him. So here's what you do. You text paddles to 76278. I had someone say, how do you spell paddles? What's wrong with Hardy? Paddles.
Did he need cardiac paddles?
Was he paddled by a stern uncle? 76278. Paddles to 76278. And you can bid on these players. Now, this ends in 9.5 hours. That's all the time you have. And there's a lot of there's 5-6 guys that don't have bids on them. And if you want to play with me, I mean, you're going to have to pony up a lot of money. Let's just put it that way. But you can, even if you have a favorite player like Charlie McAvoy, is only $650.
I was going to say that's in addition to all the players without bids right now, Charlie McAvoy only $650 right now. That's a steal.
And Fluto said that Lindholm was the best player in the Bruins right now, and he's only $400. So there's like a lot of opportunity. So say it's like Peak or someone that you don't really care about. No offense to the guy.
Oh boy.
No offense to the guy, but you bid the $400 and you're on the same floor as everyone else.
With the people that you do care about.
Right. I think if Andrew Peak was here, he wouldn't go, I'm everyone's favorite player.
I think you already know this. You can't say something that might be offensive and then get away with it by saying no offense.
Oh, I don't think that's true at all.
You think that's the get out of jail free card for offensive things?
It certainly has been in my career. I mean, I go on my racial tirades and then I say no offense, or I have many friends of that particular race or religion,
right?
And that gets me out of it. So anyway, paddles to 76278. Text it. All right, let's get to the emails. I'll tell you what's going on in just a moment. But what do you guys got already? I'm dealing with stuff. What do you guys got?
Are you guys talking about an emergency run to the bathroom? You ever have an emergency on the golf course? That's why you never pick up a dropped golf towel if you see one on the course. That's Chopper and Quincy. I would say, especially if you see one in the woods. Oh, that looks like a nice towel. Somebody dropped their one and they're doing with the towel in the woods. No.
Okay, so my dad is fetishizes whatever the term is where he lives, and he said to me, 3 golf courses in East Tennessee that he lives by. He lives basically on one of them. He's probably played there. They've been living there for 21 years. He's probably played there, those courses, let's say 3,000 times. He claims he's never seen someone go to the bathroom on the course.
That's not right.
He claims that he's never seen someone pee.
He's lying to you.
Well, he's not lying to me.
It's not
like
right.
In his crazy ass brain, that like no one goes to the bathroom on the course. Meanwhile, I've played in tournaments where people as old as my dad, Irish guy, so I hope that doesn't narrow him down around here.
No offense.
Irish guy on the course, peeing standing in front of a tree, peeing onto the light rough next to the fairway with his fists, like old school, with his fists on his hips.
Arms akimbo.
Yeah.
And he wasn't doing it to be cute. He was just like, I got to take a leak. We're all men here. Let's go. I mean,
So you brought this up before. I think it's more rare to play, especially 18 holes with 3 other guys and someone not go to the bathroom on the course. It happens almost every single time.
Yeah, I mean,
it's always.
Yeah, because I know at Woodland there's one bathroom. You pass it, you really only pass it once. In a pinch, you could go there twice. But I mean, you could be, like a 5-minute cart ride away from that toilet.
Oh, yeah.
At any point, 10-minute cart ride.
Yes.
So
The course I play at the most has one between the 4th and 5th holes, and then you could also at the turn. I tell you where it happens most often. People think they don't have to go. By the time you make it out to 11, 12, gotta go.
Well, the best thing about Woodland is that the tee goes by it. So, I mean, that's really adds to the ambiance. There's a couple places where the tee rolls by, and that's when same with Augusta and Pebble Beach. They have public transit that goes through too. But Pebble Beach has just a bus that drives through the 16th fairway. And the only problem is sometimes you'll be peeing and then you'll look up and you'll realize that there's a bus full of people elevated above you that they could see. And then you say, uh-oh.
What is that, the green line?
And then you say, oh, no, I'm so small. Is anyone going to make fun of me? This guy, WP says, Bill says, Army vet, West Point grade, Strahan did nothing wrong. We're talking about the guy from Newsmax who said Strahan was very disrespectful for not putting his hand over his heart while he was on the military vessel that they were broadcasting from. He was so defiant and anti-American that he did the broadcast from a floating Army, Navy, Marines. I don't know what it was, but it was a military vessel. He says the anthem plays before every game in every stadium and arena in the country. Concession sales don't pause during the anthem. That's way more disrespectful. That is true. They do not stop during that. And I do contend that the Newsmax guy just saw a black guy not doing what the other white people were doing.
Sure.
Because it's just the guys. It's not. There's no one in the military in the picture.
Right.
It's just, because of course Terry Bradshaw knows just what to do. But it's Bradshaw and like Long and someone else, and then Strahan's the only black guy, and so he went, oh, the black guy. He must be upset about something. And then the defense has to come out that Strahan's dad was in the military for 25 years, and this and that, where it's all just ludicrous. And again, you're achieving nothing being the person on Twitter saying that, except trying to get attention to yourselves, which is almost like certainly more offensive. If you are into the military that much, A, why did you not serve? And if there's a medical reason, God bless you, why are you not spending your Sundays volunteering, helping disabled veterans or veterans that need help? I mean, if you are such a servant of the country, if you are so patriotic, do something other than just bitching on Twitter about stuff. Get something done. Action, baby, action.
We got an email yesterday, Fred.
Ooh, yesterday, you're going back.
Well, because I think maybe congratulations are in order. Hastily typed something about a 13-plus hour labor is enduring. I would say maybe my wife is enduring. So this guy emailed us. He was listening to the show while his wife was in a long labor. He said, but I am here wondering how much free stuff Adam 12 would be pocketing right now. The juices, the coffee, the tea, the sugar. It is an interesting question. Adam, you've been in hospital situations before. You have children. Did you make off with latex gloves, gowns, blankets?
Certainly not. Those things are not for me. Those are for the patients. I do have morals.
Yeah, he doesn't steal. Again, this guy's under the impression that Adam steals. I'm surprised there was not a water birth.
Oh, yeah.
That you didn't have a doula.
Oh, wait. You're talking about me or the guy who?
No, you.
Oh, absolutely. We had a doula for both kids.
Okay, and you did a water birth.
No, we did not do a water birth.
Did you do a home birth?
No, we did a hospital birth, yeah.
So what's the doula for?
God, Megan was in labor for 37 hours with her first kid.
But Stephanie was in labor with Milo for forever. Her water broke basically before she was dilated. Maybe that's why he's afraid of birds. But you want to talk about boring? Oh boy, I called literally everybody in my phone that day.
I tell my oldest, my worst day of my life, day you were born.
And
It's
I
like
came on the air.
forever.
And I came on the air that afternoon because on WBCN. But John you can't even say he has diarrhea. But I'm on the phone during the birth of my first child.
I remember that actually.
Yeah, of course you do. You know why?
It was a memorable moment. That's
Uh-huh.
why. Yeah.
When you share a little bit about yourself, even if it makes yourself uncomfortable, it's a little memorable, Adam.
Why aren't you talking to Hardy about this? This has nothing to do with me.
Because you're the one that's hiding his secret. You two are in
He's
cahoots.
got the secret. He's sitting right next to you. Talk to him.
But he knows I won't crack. He somehow thinks he will crack.
Okay.
And John, you won't.
He's doing it to feel like he's got something over me.
As bad as the first
don't
labor
like
is
that, John.
with the first kid, the second one.
Oh, flies.
Well,
Zoe came out in 10 seconds.
Yeah,
Well,
same with my youngest.
I can't even tell you how long Marcy was in labor with our son because I slept through it. They had to wake me up when he was ready to come out. They're like, okay, it's about to happen. I'm like, huh? All right. Woke up long enough for it to happen, and I think I stayed in the hospital for I don't know, another 6 hours. I'm like, I gotta go. We got the other kid at home. She's been sleeping at a friend's. I was in and out. It was like getting new tires. I'll be here for the important stuff.
Good.
Wake me up when it's about to happen, and then once everything. All right, everybody gonna
then
live?
I'm on my way.
You good?
I felt
everybody good?
when I went and got Milo, my son, when Zoe, my daughter, was born, I felt this like tremendous guilt, like you're not the only kid anymore. Like for some reason, this like wave of like shame and guilt hit me, like I was doing like a disservice to him by introducing him to a sibling.
Oh,
it makes no logical sense,
know.
but it was some primal like
No, I can see
emotion
that, yeah.
that I was like, oh, and I felt like horrible about it. And then the first time we got pictures taken later that week, there's a picture of him. He's laying on top of Zoe. He's got his little cardinal outfit on. And he looked at the camera and smiled. And when the camera turned away, he went and popped it right in the face.
Oh, was she crying?
Nope.
Oh.
No. She was like 2 weeks old. And Milo was
3,
1.5.
Oh, are they that close?
2 years.
Wow.
They're separated in grades more.
Yeah.
Maybe he was 2 years old. Whatever. Regardless, he slapped her.
Yeah. They'll do that.
Well, he did not.
Yeah,
care
we had
for
a similar situation.
Yeah, when she came home, he did not care for that
happens.
at all. Yeah,
No.
he was great at sleeping and everything else. And as soon as she came home, he went F it.
Oh, that's out
I'm
the
turning
window.
this place upside down.
Yep.
I don't like this other intruder.
Acting out.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Slept on our floor for quite some time.
Oh, geez. Do you have a little inflatable toddler mattress there? Those are adorable.
We started taking things away in an effort to get him to sleep in bed.
Yeah.
So we started out with a lot of things, and then one by one took them away until he finally went to his bed. There you go.
You got any, John?
There are a couple here.
Is there anyone asking you what's wrong with Hardy?
No one. Oddly enough,
Because that's
no one
all
is
I'm
asking
getting.
me that. I understand that. Behind the curve, Fred, I've been blaming my farts on AI for at least a year. This is back to our discussion about.
So my point with AI is if people are like having comedy bits and stuff with them, like I would just, if you get in trouble now, I would just say that it had been messed with AI.
Somebody
Who knows
posts
what's real?
audio or video of you saying or doing something, just blame it on AI.
Yeah, because I mean, someone could try to get you in trouble with AI. So who's to say it's not AI in this world anymore? What is real and what is fake?
Right.
What is real and what's fake? What's going on with Hardy?
God, I'm this close to telling you too.
He thinks he's so strong. How about I beat it out of you, old man?
Hey,
All right, go ahead. Read the thing. What do you got? We got time for. You got 30 seconds.
All right, can you guys promise me come January when the Interest Kings, formerly known as the Red Sox, don't do anything other than sign 3 guys coming off Tommy John surgeries, that you will devote an entire program to bashing them? Anyone who buys season tickets or a ticket to see this team, this is an email, is just screaming, "Thank you, sir, may I have another?"
And that's an email from You Don't Have to Know.
Yep.
That's Matt McCann.
That's disgusting.
That's Matt McCann take another season of this shenanigans. Be Real says, I remember when Milo was born, Chachi thought you were kidding when you told him his name. And that is true. I said to Chachi, he goes, what is his name, the kid? I go, Milo. He goes, Milo. Milo Cyrus.
I still say that.
Milo
He was so proud of himself.
And he was so proud of
He
himself.
thought he was
No,
so
really,
clever.
what's his name? You didn't name him Milo.
You didn't name him Milo. What? Like Milo Cyrus? All right. We will be back with the award-winning stack segment.
Sports Hub.
said you wanted to hear more music in the morning.
Never had to knock on wood, but I never had it yet.
Oh, you said you didn't want to hear more music in the morning. Okay. Here's more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
Hi, it is time for this. Hardy brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel, and let me know that the stack is brought to you by D'Angelo Grilled Sandwiches. Sink your teeth into the steak royalty. D'Angelo's legendary number 9 grilled sandwich. Tender, juicy sirloin, onions, peppers, and mushrooms grilled to perfection. Get yours today. Do you see how good a friend I am, what I was just doing?
Yeah,
you
that
know,
was nice.
you know why I'm saying that?
That was really good.
Because it seems like that I'm someone who could be trusted, unlike the
We
way I'm
know
being
that's
treated
not
today.
true.
I don't know if everyone helps a friend like I just did.
No, I think we would all do that.
pretty much.
I don't
Yeah.
think you know
Across
the extents I went, the extent, the way,
You did devote at least 4 minutes to it.
and more, and it looped other people in, professionals. Don't worry about it.
Nick?
No,
Who other
professionals.
than Nick?
Well, Nick was Johnny on the spot. Nick got things done.
Okay, who
Nick,
other-
I'm on your page. You're doing a great job, buddy. Don't listen to him.
Who other than Nick did you loop in?
Now I can't say an attorney.
Oh,
look at you.
Okay.
I think someone's being not in radio. This has nothing to do with the station or anything else, and no one around.
Mhm.
But I think the person's being they're strong armed a little bit. I can't imagine that that's entirely legal. What's going on? All right, go ahead.
All right, something we didn't get to a couple of days ago. Lamar Odom was in Las Vegas celebrating his birthday recently.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
He has no history of like substance problems or alcohol
No,
problems.
he OD'd in a whorehouse.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, apparently he has his sexual escapades under control because while he was in Las Vegas, he thought he'd treat himself to a new toy, a sex toy, a life-size sex doll. Apparently there is a factory in Las Vegas, of all places. It is called Real Doll, and it is full of totally nude female sex dolls hanging on hooks and on display. It's got a real ex machina feel to it, looking at the photos from this place. And according to reports, he picked out and has ordered his own custom doll that looks a lot like Khloe Kardashian. So
he's going to be just fine.
Based on the curves and facial features that he has ordered, someone close to the situation said, yeah, that's what he's going for. So good for Lamar Odom, treating himself to a birthday present.
Okay, so everyone knows Real Dolls because of the Stern Show. There's the Real Doll situation and what's going on with Lamar Odom. But I almost think, and I don't really think that they should be illegal, but you should be put on like a list if you buy a torso, because then you're getting to the point where it's just like you're breaking down human beings into like literal one body part. Like you're like at least a real doll's got like a head and like hair and everything, as weird as it is, feet and everything else. But if it's legit just a torso, that's serial killery. And I do mean that. And if you have a torso, no offense, but
that off the hook, good.
But that kind of like that just is so like dehumanizing that I find that to be very suspect behavior. Just that's my own take on things. I'm no professional.
No, of course not. Fred, you're a fan of the band CKY?
No.
Okay. Chad Ginsburg of CKY apparently had an issue. Out on tour with Alien Ant Farm for their European tour. Dryden Mitchell, who we all know as the lead singer of Alien Ant Farm.
Don't play this for Alien Ant Farm. How dare you? They're a good band. They're actually not a bad band. They just made a mistake. The label made them do this. I don't like this song. Turns out, please, Adam.
You're right. I shouldn't play the song that everyone in the audience knows.
No, you should. No, do what you do in and out of every break and self-indulge.
Oh. Here's the statement from the guy from Alien Ant Farm. Sadly, Chad from CKY hasn't figured out how to cohabitate with others after all these years. CKY will no longer be on the Alien Ant Farm tour after Chad punched me in the face earlier today. I've watched him treat multiple crew members and opening band members like trash throughout Europe and causing general drama. For the last year of shows, I went to Chad, asked if he had any issues with anyone specifically, if he wanted to sit down. He ended up, he upended the table in the dressing room through his phone and then canceled their show.
Yeah, so what? Normal. What's the plan?
So Chad from CKY said, I've got more to say on this. It doesn't go that way. He said, UK CKY fans, get your money back. I had no choice and good reason for what happened. I will always defend myself. You know me much better than that. No more.
Yeah, based on the CKY videos, yes, I know that you're not prone to any violence. By the way,
more info to come. Apologies to the fans. We're still awaiting that info.
Well, Bam Majera's brother's obviously in CKY, hence all the CKY videos, and that were before Jackass when they melded with Big Brother. He's currently suing Bam because of assault. The Bam's brother that's in CKY, which stands for what?
Can't kill yourself.
Yep.
No offense.
I didn't name the band.
Hollywood Reporter is reporting.
Oh, Hollywood?
Yeah.
What loony thing is going on over there now?
Yeah, out there
Hollyweird.
on the left coast.
Yeah, have you got that right, left? What are they crying?
Apparently, there are apologies all around. The statement reads, "We deeply regret this unfortunate error and taking immediate action to remedy this. Parents are advised that the misprinted, incorrect website is not appropriate for children." What? What's going on? Apparently, Mattel put out a bunch of Wicked dolls, and the website on the side of the package is supposed to go to their Wicked collection, and it actually went to the wickedmovie.com landing page.
And is that Wicked Pictures? Well, that's upscale pornography.
You got it.
That was Jill Kelly's place for a while.
Yes.
So at least they'll be seeing tasteful pornography.
Yes.
Well shot. Not this POV crap that they churn out now.
Soft lighting. You know, they kind of fog the room a little bit.
Yeah, if you were a Vivid or a Wicked girl, you were almost mainstream. That's as close to mainstream as possible.
Sure, it was good stuff. But apparently, having that website on the side of the toy packaging, not good, caused a few problems.
Well, as you know, I am, if nothing, a connoisseur of the TT Boy interview shows where he has old porn stars on. And isn't it strange? I'm much more interested in the male ones. Isn't that interesting? And there's guys I've never heard of. Panchero is one guy. He did a 4-hour interview with him. I watched it 7 times.
4 hours?
I'll click around. But then anyway, I told you guys this off the air yesterday, so it gets me down the rabbit hole. I'll go, I've never seen this guy in a porn before. And then I'll go and they'll have like late 70s porn, which is supposed to be the golden age. There's scenarios you could not get away with now. A lot of scenarios you couldn't get away with now. I didn't find it erotic at all.
A lot of non-consensual.
Yeah, and it's interesting because 2 guys have said the only reviews you could go with back in the day were from Screw Magazine because the guy who reviewed porn there had no ties to any of the production companies. All the other rags put out porn under their own titles, so they were going to be unfair.
Can't be trusted.
To production companies that were not their own. For instance, if I can go on, more on this in Filibuster, Hustler, correct? Now, what standard is it going to be? Full? Is it going to be half? You know how they rated the films. You didn't stand a chance if you were coming from Johnny Boy Pictures.
Doesn't seem fair. Doesn't seem fair to me.
No.
You guys just come to my house. We'll sit down and watch the TT Boy interviews. Have a good time. Do yourself a favor and watch him interview Peter North. That is funny. It's like if I told you there are 2 guys that had recently been hit in the head with a mallet and they're trying to communicate to each other, you would have a good laugh. And everyone knows TT Boy and Peter North, so you'll recognize them. They have a good time. All right, that'll do it for us. Everyone have a good day. Say hello to